if Benicuti used the gold lane Mincetar again. Not saying it's going to happen here. The Franco is banned out. That might be the answer for it for the rest of the series because they don't want to go through those double hook kind of combinations to deal with. But already, picks coming out here quite quickly. There's the Eve, the Fredrin for Blacklist International. So far, Carl TZ going to pick that Tanks-a-lot, Lancelot here, and we'll see what the next one's going to be.
They pick up the Farsa, so they're going to be battling each other with pokes. That means Blacklist International needs to be smart with what they pick here. And they decide to pick up the Arlot as it is open. The familiarity between these two teams, how they prepared for each other going into these grand finals. Blacklist International got here first, but it seems like they already thought about Echo. And Echo, they still had to go through RSG. But I don't know if it's the history or really just they knew that they were making it to the grand finals. A strong feeling about it. Fast bans and fast pickings all around. So now Blacklist International will be looking to take away the heroes of Yaoi. With a Kufra gone, let's see what else Blacklist will take away from him.
Oh, they're shorting out the choices. Coach Tick and Coach Treb choking down the rookie's hero pool. Owl gonna get his carry taken out. Possibly maybe another.
Yeah.
What's the Brody looking like here? Is the Claude still
Yeah, I was
out?
gonna say Claude Brody. You know, he's kind of opted for both of those. I would expect Echo to just go ahead and ban out the Claude.
One of them.
Yeah.
So it's a safer go.
Blacklist International, yeah. I see Claude going to the fourth pick there for Owl. But then that would mean the Blacklist International are going to be looking for the mid-game, late-game's power spike, while Echo's draft right now is very early to mid. Is that something Blacklist International would want to play into? Let's find out if it is. And we all mentioned the Mincetar. Blacklist says, yeah, we really don't want to go up against that, which means Blacklist might be looking at Beatrix as a potential option to gold lane.
And it's a safe bet. The Beatrix just has great coverage. Now you're wondering, are they ready to face off against the Harith? Because when you take out the Mincetar and you're going in for a dive comp, much like what Echo is rocking, because again, Sanji might be the only one who is actually an artillery member of that lineup. I think the Harith seems solid, especially when you have a hero that wants to get in there like the Arlot.
Yeah, they could possibly go and opt for, that's one of the main things I would say about Benicuti is the fact that he likes to kind of switch up the options for the gold lane. Again, that's why I was saying, my wish list is that Mincetar once more, but it could just be banned out for the series. Now he still has that Harith pick available too. We're not really sure exactly how they want to play this, but with this pickup, the Rafaela coming back up, it was only picked once.
The whole season.
The whole season.
By next play Evos.
That's the thing. In the hands of Brusco DR, not even by the Queen. So has the Queen day after day, back to back, been feeling spicy. Yeah, last night, she picked up the Angela.
Yeah. And now the Rafaela. I wonder what that means for the gold lane here for Blacklist International. Are we going to be seeing a Bruno potentially, the classic combo for a Rafa, but then it's up against a Farsa? I believe the pickup of the Farsa was really just for avoidance, movement speed, as Echo gets her hands on the Harith for Benicuti, and Yaoi picks up the Lolita. A lot of AOE for the lineup of Echo. The holy healing from the Rafa now looks very good.
If there's anything I know about the Storm, about the M4 Grand Finals champion, MVP, is he likes the Harith this season, in the playoffs especially. So is it going to be the Bruno? The last time that this combo worked was, what, in the heyday of M3? So that was, what, for the better part of 2 years ago. I wonder if it's a thing now.
Bruno up against the Farsa again is a matchup that does not favor the Bruno.
Speaking of Grand Finals MVPs, is that the Prince?
What does he have on? He's got some merch on.
What? Up front.
Up front.
Watching the competition. Of course, we all know they're all friends. It's all support.
Yeah.
But they're watching. They're scouting.
Next to the Raja, too.
Yeah. Hey, we carried him earlier.
That's right. What a privilege.
What an honor.
I wish I was there.
Well, another time maybe. But I love this because this whole playoffs has felt like a reunion. Like a homecoming.
Yes.
And it really has felt like that. And I know we got special guests here as well. So I can't wait for this to unfold. It feels like we already blazed through the draft, but look at this.
Everybody just following in my footsteps, but I don't blame you. Everybody just does not want to call it either way. Maybe, just my guess, for the sake of this rivalry extending all the way to Phnom Penh, Cambodia, or just for the sake of it going the third in a trilogy. You don't know. This is the rubber match.
Yeah, this is like technically, like I said, because they're both 1-for-1 in different ways. This is that best of one now, right? But it's over the course of a best of 7, basically.
It's an epic.
An epic, and I'm sure this is something that the two teams are thinking about. The epic rivalry, Blacklist International and Echo. The Brody was the last pickup there for Blacklist, and paired up with the Rafaela, should be happy with free hitting and avoiding key abilities.
Blacklist not going to be lacking for vision. I think that's one of the few things that teams have been lacking towards the way that they build lineups in the playoffs. And here this time around with that Rafaela, Holy Healing should be able to check in. Oh!
Wow. All right, they already get an early flicker out from UA, taking quite a bit of damage here. But this is kind of what we have to expect, right? A little bit of push and pull between both teams because, like you were just mentioning, Leo, you know, Blacklist International has that Holy Healing available to them. But already Carl Teasy being quite aggressive himself. Gonna get the flicker out and gets the first blood.
Hold up. Is this the first time in forever we've seen Carl Teasy rock the Brenny Sports Lancelot skin?
Oh, yeah. Wow. Yeah, good thing you noticed that, dude. That has to be like something to empower him, to motivate him that this is where it all began for me.
Would that be his final form? Like, is that technically?
I am him. That's it.
Yeah.
He is declaring this match has now begun. I am
me.
Yeah, and we were joking about it behind the scenes. Man, I can't believe the final form of Carl Teasy might actually be Tanks a Lot with hybrid build.
Apparently, speed of the devil.
He's grown.
More than just.
Yes.
He has grown, and he has become great. Turtle already up.
Okay. Blacklist International trying to get in position here. Once again, though, Wise exactly isn't here. They might just be willing to trade it. And as they do, Carl Teasy going to secure that first turtle. It looked like, you know, Wise was trying to get some pressure on that purple buff, but he decided to just go back anyway. It was kind of spotted out.
Yeah, tremendous read there by the members of Echo, specifically the Lolita on Yaoi. Right. Getting the vision there for Carl Teasy that, hey, he's here, that made Wise go back. And I believe the early def onto Oh My Venus, the lack of the level 4 there, meant that Black said, yeah, way too risky for us to lose anymore. Let's just back off.
Already, something to note, here in the XP lane there's some action. They didn't do the double XP rotation.
Yeah, which is puzzling to me because I thought we'd be seeing that all series long. But then they decided, okay, let's just go back to basics. It's going to be a long 7-game series. I feel like this is part of just the feeling out process. But then at the same time, Rafaela in the mid roaming around, helping the mid and the jungler roam around. It's more beneficial for them.
Whoop.
Oh, there's a lot happening here. The flicker in, Noon Blast. Owl will fall. Top side, meanwhile, in the mid lane, a little bit of poking back and forth too, but already Echo gaining the momentum in this game 1.
Reptar, you talked about how Oh My Venus has parked herself in mid. That's what happens. She couldn't help Owl.
Yeah, and Owl just suffered a massive Numenon blast that made it possible because the other members of Echo were pushing back the other members of Blacklist around the middle portion of the map. That forced that to happen. Great call by Echo and great play.
Oh, top side though, Owl once again going to be in trouble here. Feathered Airstrike pops the damage. Benicuti will get the kill. The sustain from the Holy Healing was not enough to deal with that.
So yeah, the first time around it was just the two of them up top. Now they have Oh My Venus, but Sanji comes in.
Yeah, it seems like Echo are treating the XP lane as just back to what we treated in S9. It's just gonna be a dead lane. Sure, let them clear the minion waves. They will rotate. We'll put the pressure on the gold. Owl has been monstrous this playoffs. Echo is respecting that, and they want to stop that.
Is this Echo dictating the pace, making their own meta the way that they want to? Or the Orcas swimming up against the wave that is Blacklist International?
Definitely. That is what you do when you're up against the Blacklist, against your rivals.
Well, they just want to go ahead and give up the turtles here. Carl Teasy going to secure the second one. A lot of focus on the top side, though. Looking for a possible pick here. Blacklist International. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and charge that new and blast up. Just help clear the waves. They kind of know, or at least they have a sense that something's going on here.
Yeah, when you only see Edward in the turtle pit contesting. Most likely Blacklist International has 3 or 4 roaming around together. Again, that's just familiarity by Echo, knowing that Blacklist would want to get one back over Benny Cutie to help Owl cash up just a little bit.
Yep. It's basically saying,
oh, Owl. That's what it's saying. He can't survive that. Will fall. Carl TZ jumping to the backside. Putting out the damage with the Thorn. Rose going to still go. Gets the flicker from Oh My Venus. There's the Retribution being used as well. Still the follow-up going to come out through. Real World Manipulation going to come down, forcing it under the turret. Yue charges up! Finds the target. Yue will fall. And Echo still in the driver's seat. Might be looking for another! Benny Cutie gets the cleanup kill. And now it's Oh My Venus and Edward. Here comes Carl TZ again. Right on through. Edward trying to salvage the situation. Has to flicker out himself, but he's stuck to. Echo dominating.
40 coming in. It's like they lived in the top lane of Blacklist for the longest time.
Chugga, 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 chugga. I hear it coming. It's the Echo Express. And this is their signature play style. Play fast, farm fast, fight early, and they are taking it straight to Blacklist International. 3 deaths already for Owl. Look at that Harith already with a Feather of Heaven and Calamity Reaper in his hands. Less than 8 minutes in.
6K ahead, almost, at about, what, 5 minutes. That was the worst I've seen this game so far go for Blacks International. They have yet to get a single kill, a single objective, and I'm looking for a possible way to clap back. Are we expecting Edward to go ahead and force us to go into the late game and then get a final slash it? Because we have barreled into what is possibly the earliest late game we've ever seen.
This is once again happening here. Y's going to be quite low. One hit away. Goes down to Sanji. Carl TZ securing the 3rd turtle of the game. Now Yaoi on the run here. Blacklist looking for their first kill. Wow. Will get it with a torn apart memory. But now Echo getting in position to clap back in a counter play. Sanford going to show himself. The healing's going to be there, but here comes Carl TZ going to force them back. Owl flickers out. Carl TZ trying to go in, going to get stunned with the Holy Baptism, and the turret will fall. Now here comes Edward, trying to see if he can do anything about this. He has the tankiness. Final slash going to be used. Feathered airstrike to follow him up. He's going to be taken away from the team with a split. In trouble now. Wise trying to help out. On the retreat, Blacklist goes. Benny Cutie, though, forcing them back.
Here's what's amazing about what Echo is doing. They want Blacklist to fight back. They know that if Blacklist just welcomes the fight, when they're not ready, Echo's going to win 100% of the time. The best thing that Blacklist is doing now is just tempering their expectations.
That is the right call here by Echo. And yes, Blacklist can only temper their expectations and try to balance it out. Yaoi misses.
Yaoi gonna miss that, but they're still gonna be able to get a kill. Wise will fall. Still, turret being worked on. Feather airstrike to help out. Yaoi will follow. 1-for-1 trade. Blacklist, though, still has a ton of work ahead of them.
Yeah, that's a good trade for Echo. Roamer for the jungler, for the One True King as Midnight dubbed the Wise. And Echo, they can just continue this. But now at this point, this is where they start tempering their own expectations a bit. Yes, it's still roughly a 7,000 gold lead. Yes, there are still members of Blacklist catching up on items. No full build just yet for Owl. He was forced to build another item just for a little bit more magic defense on his side. But that doesn't mean Blacklist can't punish. Echo, their dirty tendency of over diving under tower, they cannot do that. Just play it safe, play around the Lords, and keep it calculated.
About 5 to 6 minutes, yeah, you can play hard and fast. Maybe, as you said, dirty like that. But now, as soon as you give Blacklist more kills, fair to be said, both of them give it to Yaoi, given through Yaoi, it should be fine. But then again, we've seen teams fall to the same mistake, having such a great lead. Free Lord for Echo as they go ahead and march through mid.
What a zone out by Sanji, by the way. Not stopping with that feather air strike.
Yeah, Yaoi gonna wait once again. The turret's gonna fall here. The pull comes through. There's the rear wood manipulation coming down. Sanford will fall. Was it worth the turret here? Lord now marching down the mid lane. We'll see if they can actually convert this into an inhibitor.
Doesn't look like it. Way too sketchy. Nope. Because of their lineup, they can't go up into this. You've got to watch out for the positioning because of the final slash. Something to be careful about. That's a good cut by KarlTzy to stop the minion wave, and that will increase their chances of, successfully breaking the turret up top.
Yeah, so here's what I was getting at, right? First couple of kills on Yaoi. Slowly but surely, if you let Blacklist continue at this pace, which they're slowly getting comfortable with, they will upgrade, they will upsell, and they got Sanford. Who's next? Are you going to say Benicuti might get a death here? Maybe even Sanji? That's what Echo has to watch out for.
Yeah, and Benicuti will really have to hold on to his Purify at the best possible moment. But there's so many crucial crowd control abilities on the side of Echo that which one is he going to hold out for? Is it really just going to be if ever he gets Final Slash, if he gets taunted or whatever, knocked up? Stunned, everything.
RWM'd?
Everything. So much crowd control. Benicuti has to really channel his inner, Benicuti, and just be careful with this entry as he always has been.
Relatively mum this past minute here after Blacklist International successfully defended that Lord. So, yeah, you could take this as a clear sign that, hey, Echo have started to slow down. They went, down a second gear for the Echo Express, safe to say.
My goodness, Benicuti already has a divine glaive. 11 minutes in. This Harith is a problem, but Blacklist International, they're holding it out. They're just doing everything they can to get a little bit more farm, try to funnel whatever minion waves come in for Owl.
I'm wondering if the play here for Blacklist International is just possibly give up the next Lord, right? Not fight it because of the massive, look at the gold, right? The massive gold disparity here, right? You just give up the Lord. You defend in your base. You have pretty good wave clear. You can also help out with using that final slash. So it might just be better, like you guys mentioned, buy some more time. There's another big item pickup for Echo. So, at this point, if you are Blacklist International, you want to be able to just hold on. And then if mistakes are made, which we've seen them do before, punish, right? And then kind of slowly gain control back into this game. But right now, it is the Echo Express.
Yeah. It's funny because Blacklist International has a relatively great high ground defense, but they are up against a Harith and a Farsa that clears minion wave so fast. And if Sanji really just waits for the perfect moment to drop that feathered airstrike, that'll be 2 hits, and Blacklist members will be forced to go back.
And that's what's scary. Blacklist can't hold out for that. Not only can they, but they can even force Echo to do such because this is going to be a Luminous Lord. But at what point is that going to hit critical mass? Because again, Lord's going to be marching down through mid this time around, and they can find a better angle. They can sink. The last time there was a Lord, there were still tier 2 turrets.
Yeah. Minion waves, Echo. They can't just go with one minion wave, dive under tower, dive under turret. That has bitten them many times throughout the season, and even during the playoffs. One of the main reasons why they got knocked down to the lower bracket. It's the Blacklist they're up against. Gotta watch out. Benicuti just picked up a concentrated energy. It's gonna be a lot of regen for this Harith. I wonder if Echo will they actually try to brute force this?
Well, here we go. Lord gonna go ahead and charge up. Blacklist International on the defense. Some more item pickups come through. Yaoi dealing with the final slash from Edward. Turret now falls. Concealed play going to be used here, looking for their own angle. KarlTzy's going to push them back. Benicuti using the Zombie Force. He's going to get cut off, though, quite low. RWM going to come down. The final slash from Edward, though, cleaning up the kill. Still going to be going. Yaoi going to charge up, buying some time. And now Sanji trying to hold on as well. The chase ensues. Flicker comes through. KarlTzy down on the box side will find Edward. Still going to be going. Double kill so far. Wise one a flicker, though. Sanji avoiding the Appraiser's wrath. It's a triple kill for KarlTzy.
The fight was brought all the way out towards mid, and now there's only 2 defenders left.
Now they're going to be looking to end this game number 1 here on that play. They've got a few minions, but is it going to be enough? Oh my Venus will fall, and it's the Echo Express all the way through to game 1.
The Orcas draw first blood. Game 1 taken here by Echo.
Al has been monstrous all throughout the playoffs. Echo said, hey, you guys are up against now. Hey, Al, it's the grand finals. Yeah, we're going to make life a living hell for you.
Man, that last team fight where you thought, you know, there might be some hope there for that defending, that was the second Lord, or was it the third Lord? Second Lord? Luminous. And if they would have survived that, maybe, yeah, they would have been able to buy time. But like we mentioned, Echo Express, man, we went through it. They've been in this position before, and they don't often let go of those leads that they have.
Yeah, and it seems like we talked about a state of flow numerous times throughout the season. Echo were just in that state of flow. It's like they remembered their World Championship form, their confidence. And that's something that Echo brought up in a previous interview as well. After their victory, they said, oh, we're no longer scared to engage. We're more confident now. And you saw it there. The confidence, the lack of hesitation. And they just barreled through Blacklist International.
And I think it's that same confidence that they have to use at the right time. Here they did. Definitely, they understood the assignment that as Echo Express, there's at some point, the point of no return, where no, we can't do Echo system anymore. Because if we do, we're playing in the Blacklist's territory. And here they ended very, very quickly. An amazing job here by our M4 World Champions. Ladies and gentlemen, we have quite a treat for you. We're going to go over to the analyst stand. Midnight's going to talk to us. He's going to tell us exactly what happened here in Game 1.
Orcas! Game 1 victory for Echo. Intense yung naging laban natin. And mukhang nakapag-prepare ang Echo laban sa Blacklist International. It was an amazing game for the Orcas. And natin i-breakdown yan dito sa ating analyst stand. Pero bago lahat, gusto ko lang sabihin na dahil ito ay special na Grand Finals, gusto ko lang gumanti sa ibang bansa. I want to be able to fight back. Shoutouts pala sa Malaysia, Cambodia, and Indonesia. They kept on importing our players. And with a special Grand Finals appearance, I want to be able to get back to them. That's why I imported a very important friend. My boy, what's up over there?
Kamusta mga mahal kong Filipinos? Man, it's amazing to be here. The atmosphere, the Filipino crowd, and both Echo and Blacklist International are popping off. But hey, it seems like that game, it was all Echo.
Dude, it was really all Echo on game number 1. But before that, I want to ask you, how has it been in Philippines?
It's been pretty easy, man. Especially the ranked games.
Oh, you're going there, huh? Okay, are you going to say that it's as easy as the Indonesian ranked games?
Oh, man. I wouldn't say Indonesian ranked games. It's as easy as the Malaysian ones.
Oh, okay. Okay. Huge shout-outs, Gideon and Lafel. So let's leave it at that, okay? Malaysia, your turn next. Anyway, we go back to game number 1. Again, it was a masterclass performance coming out from Echo. They really did study, you know, the Ube strategy, and it felt like Blacklist International, they had little to no responses, and it felt like it has to boil down to the draft.
I agree, right? I mean, the draft really is the foundation of the plays that they were making all around there. And Carl Teasy was able to get so much space all the way from the early game. I think first blood was at the first minute. And it came down to just getting these solid counters in that are honestly quite unexpected, right? Going for the Harith, going for the Farsa as well right now up against the Brody. Someone who really struggles up against a Purify and obviously mobility plus that crazy range plus burst from the Farsa that really enables the other members to do what they please, because Blacklist were so concerned of, you know, keeping the distance or maybe trying to just bait out that feather airstrike that Carl TZ gets to be that shadow striker.
Yeah, and they did have answers on the side of Blacklist International, but it felt like, you know, all the rotations, all the movements on the map, it was checked by Echo. The first movements, Wolf mentioned this on the Filipino broadcast, Blacklist International tried to go for the invade against Carl TZ's purple buff. But Yaoi and Sanji was there. They were like, nah, it's not your day, you know? You're not going to get any resources. You're not going to get any trade-offs from the turtle. And after that, it was just Echo's game. All over the mid-game, the momentum was there, and it felt like this Brody did little to nothing for Blacklist International. And this was something that Echo prepared during the drafting stage. When they saw the Rafaela, there were little to no marksmen to follow up the Rafaela. It felt like only Brody was the sufficient answer for the side of Blacklist International. And again, as you've mentioned, Brody does not do well against this type of lineup from Echo.
Definitely. Very, very tough game for the Brody. And as we can see from the draft again here in the item build, Blacklist International, they really were heavily prioritizing that mid-game power spike. That's the name of the game for them. That was their prime winning condition. But the thing is, for Echo, they've drafted a composition that can go to the late game, but also finds pretty good comfort in the mid-game. A lot of mid-game power spikes from the Lancelot, even the Harith and the Farsa, and obviously that glue oppression from Sanford that was also just seen here, not from the kill participation though, because as you can see from the teamfight participation, it was Yaoi and Sanji. Mid-control is #1. When you're up against Blacklist International, who's been able to snowball a lot of their early game leads into that mid-game end with Venus and Yue. Knowing that it's a Yve, you know, they gotta try to just maximize that wave clear from the Farsa and Lolita. Good combo, plus that mobility from the Wings by Wings.
Yep, and it felt like Blacklist International were outmatched, I would say, from every aspect of the roles that they had. And Yaoi and Sanji did amazing on the tank support duo, but the showing of the original prodigy, the Lancelot god of the Philippines, Carl TZ on his Lancelot. 505, and we've seen the genius of this guy. The ability, the mechanics, it's there, but earlier against Blacklist International, the Ubik composition did not really work out for Blacklist as Echo devoured the early game timings that they've had. And you know, when you shut down heroes like this, Fredrin, Brody, and Rafaela, it's like having a hard recovery curve for Blacklist International. It's hard for you to do that because look at the heroes of Echo. How do you fight into a Harith with a Purify?
It's almost impossible to come back if you lose that lead early on, especially when you give a massive lead to Echo in that mid-game with their composition that builds around that mid-game power spike. And as you can see from these team fights, again, it really feels like the draft were the proper foundations for them to be able to make these plays happen, because even for Blacklist International, what they succeed at with this draft is most probably the team fights that stay in one place. That mobility from Echo that we mentioned, from the Harith, from the Feather Airstrike and the Wings by Wings as well, and obviously the puncture from Carl TZ enabled them to escape, to just buy some time, distract, and come back with a re-engage.
Yeah, Echo again checked a lot of boxes here against Blacklist. And I think one of the most fundamental problems with Echo's strategy is that they don't have endgame. But this time around, they did have the Harith. The ability to take down towers was there. Although he did die on the last few fights, it didn't matter because it was already a team fight victory for Echo. And again, Blacklist International had no response against the mobility of the team fight on the side of the Orcas. It was an amazing game. Game #1, just game #1 for Echo. We might see more adjustments coming out from Blacklist, but I want to ask you, what do you think is the most important recipe here for Echo as to how they won game #1?
Keep it chaotic. I think that's the #1 thing they should do. Not in the team fights, but in the early game build up to that mid game. Because as long as it's chaotic, a systematic team like Blacklist International can be caught a few times.
Well, let's see if the chaos can keep up on game #2, or will Blacklist International keep it together for their side? Because again, this is the grand finals. This is a best-of-7 match. However, adjustments will be coming forward. And speaking of adjustments, let's look at the keys to victory that our panelists brought together earlier on. Now, there are adjustments that are needed to be made, but Echo did check one of their keys to victory. You know, if you get a momentum, you win the game. You just do it. You constantly do it. And I actually had a conversation with Yaoi earlier. He said that they're more prepared now compared to Season 10. Because right now, they're not scared of making any mistake.
I think that's the thing right now. The confidence, the mentality coming into this matchup. Sure, they did just play a lower bracket match, so it can be a double-edged sword. Again, they had to, come out with a lot of those strategies and reveal a lot of those strategies. But Echo, it seems like when they have the momentum, last time, they weren't just able to break it, they were able to shatter the code. We'll see if they can do it again right here.
It's shaping up to be a great series here for the Orcas and the Agents. Before we head on to game #2, I want to hear more on the side of Blacklist International. Agents, Cheer for your team. Okay, let's do it one more time. Agents. Okay, they're kind of wrapping up, okay? Echo,
that's
they
fine.
have momentum.
They just won game number 1, so when I say echo loud, you say?
There you go.
Let's do it one more time. Echo loud!
The energy is there, and we are going to be hearing more from the audience as we head on over to Marrakino.
Nagbabalik sa Pilipinas ang mga manlalaro ng Onyx. Nandito si Marky, Delar, Kyrie, Baloyski, and Coach Shep. Hi guys! Uy! Kumpleto. 5 players. Oh, kulang ng isa. Kulang ng isa. Hey guys! Si Kyrie finally graced us. Hoy, champion! Congratulations!
Thank you po.
Okay, ganon yun nami-miss maglaro ngayong playoffs ngayon dito sa Pilipinas?
Sobrang namimiss, lalo ngayon sobrang init ng playoffs eh.
Sobrang init. Sinong mas mainit ngayon? Echo, Blacklist.
Pareho lang, pareho match.
Pero bakit
Pero Blacklist ako eh.
Bakit ka na? Oh, Blacklist. Bakit Blacklist?
Kasi ano eh, tropa ko si Edward.
Tropa si Edward. Kayo, how much do you miss playing? Di niyo ba nami-miss to be on the stage?
Sobrang namimiss. Di ako nakapaglaro yung nakarang season eh.
Ano sinabi si Kyrie? Bakit di daw siya nakapaglaro dahil?
Inuuna mo kasi commercial eh.
Ino niyo. Oy, kung di nyo alam, superstar to.
Pasalamat siya, di ako naglaro eh. Ako sana yung problema nila sana eh, finals eh.
Oh! Ikaw, Marky, how much do you miss playing?
Namiss ko na po kasi ang hirap po mag-shot call eh, pagkabasa po.
Mahirap mag-shot ko pag
Kaya
bahasa.
gusto ko na po bumalik sa Pinas para easy na lang yung pag-shot call.
Sino ba yung pinaka-maingay, Baloyski, nung naglalaro kayo dati? Pag nasa com, sino yung loudest, ang pinaka-makulit?
Kung ingay lang po, si Dilar.
Si Dilar!
Yung ingay po. Hindi, pero sa sa macro, ako po, tas si Marky, tas si Kyrie.
O so basically, lahat namin name mo eh. So lahat kayo maingay.
Apo.
O sige nga, truthfully, Coach Shep, Kyrie, amongst the two teams, who do you think will give you a harder time sa MSC? Kasi kami, feeling namin syempre other than the Filipino team, you guys are gonna give us a hard time. Who do you think is gonna give you a headache?
Tingin ko po pareho lang eh, kasi pareho lang tinatalo kami palagi.
Ang safe niya sumagot. Coach
Play
Shep,
safe
what
play
about
safe
you? Who's gonna give you a headache?
Pareho lang din talaga, pero medyo pareho ng playstyle namin si Echo.
Pareho ng playstyle si Echo.
Oo.
Sige nga, para hindi bias, sino sa tingin mo will give Indonesia a harder time, ang Onyx Philippines? Onyx Indonesia!
Parehas
Ano?
din po sagot kayo. Parehas din po.
Parehas?
Apo.
Sa akin parehas lang kasi palagi naman Pinas yung nananalo sa international tournament.
Uy, kasali ka daw.
Kasali pala ako doon, Igos pala ako. Mali, wrong send.
Okay, who will give you a harder time between the two teams?
Sino ba? Hindi ko alam sa kakampi ko, hindi naman kasi, hindi ko alam kung maglalaro ako sa Ibos eh. Hindi ko alam sa akin.
Parang inamin
Pero
niya
tingin ka
na Pilipinas
tingin ko
mananalo.
Blacklist consistent sila sa international tournament eh.
Consistency ng Blacklist.
Tsaka lagi akong talo sa kanila eh.
Who do you think will give them a harder time sa MSC?
Paras din po talaga.
My gosh, mga
Paras
safe!
po. Hindi po, totoo po. Hindi po sa safe. Sobrang pares po kasi magaling eh. Solid. Kaya pares kaming parehas lang talaga.
Alam ko wala na kayo sa Philippines, pero guys, pwede ba, for old time's sake, what time is it?
It's Onyx time.
Okay, Kyrie, ikaw naman. Paputunan natin sa casters. Kaya gawin mo yung ginagawa ko na casters. Pasok.
Casters, pasok.
I woke up today and pleasantly surprised. I didn't expect to be thrown over by Kyrie.
Yeah, what an honor. Do they still call him the Sky King? They do, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Raja Langit.
Raja Langit. Oh, perfect.
That's what they call him. Folks, before we get on with the match, enjoy the power of Smart when you switch to Smart without changing your number via mobile number portability or MNP. Visit smart.ph/switch to Smart to know more. back into the action once more for those of you who aren't in the know. The folks that Maro were talking to were Onyx PH alumni, who themselves had quite the rivalry with Blacklist International. So that's what puts this all in a context.
Together, basically. And that's why I'm saying it's so cool, you know, because, again, it feels like, in a way, a homecoming, a reunion, and just to see them all sitting together in a row and then talking about, you know, their experiences even, it's amazing. And at the same time, I can't wait to see that kind of matchup in like a different, it's almost like a different timeline, right? Where Onyx Esports is now going to be playing against eventually Blacklist International, right, in the MSC 2023 tournament. So what if, like, you know, how many times we've seen those organizations go head to head, but now it's like it's different representation in a way, right? But Yeb is still there, Kyrie's still there. So that's something to really look forward to, I feel like, in MSC, especially everything else that's coming through, especially with the addition of the 3 other countries that will be participating in that as well.
Yeah, and you gotta boggle my memory here, but we didn't see Blacklist versus Onyx Esports in M4, did we? I know we didn't.
Even throughout the knockout stage, yeah.
We didn't. So that'll be one of our wish lists for MSC.
There it is.
See Blacklist International versus Onyx Esports.
Hell, even Onyx versus Echo, I'm not so sure.
No, it's not Onyx versus Echo. It was Echo that Kyrie did that Hayabusa play.
Yeah, that's right.
They found Benny. All right.
Yeah, they found Benny.
That's the one.
Yeah,
that's the one.
How could we forget?
Right. See, because again, multiple timelines, different personalities coming in, crashing through. The memories are overflowing, and I'm just doing my best here to keep it all under control because we are just at the beginning. We are at but the precipice of this best of 7. All right? So, with that being said, folks, you know the drill. We ran throughout the whole regular season with this, and there's no way we're going to let it go tonight for Championship Sunday.
It's the last time.
Is it?
Yeah, it's the last.
I'm getting emotional.
Technically, it is. It's the last day,
it's
right?
It's time for Smart Game Face of the Day. Team SMX, y'all know the drill. We've been laying down the rules for y'all months at a time now. All you got to do, flash the hashtag PowerSmart on your devices, use a green background just to make sure. And when you get it put on ya, put on that face.
Oh.
You get that redeemable in-game code. Ask Mommy Doris from Echo.
The Echo Cheer Master. Coming up with some of the iconic Echo cheers. Some of it's still in workshop mode.
Yeah.
But we heard it.
They're working through
I was
it.
gonna
And
say.
I love it already. Take it out of beta. Release it. Publish it.
Yeah. Some of them made a debut at playoffs.
Yeah.
I feel like by the time we get to maybe for MSC, and like depending on how many orcas, you know, fly out and go there, but by season 12, they have like a playlist of Echo cheers. Led.
Soon enough, you're going to see it on your favorite music streaming apps.
Yeah. I was thinking the exact same thing.
That you
I
can
would.
listen, you know, listen to while you're working out, maybe.
I would. Get me pumped up.
There it is.
Lakas ng Pinas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, back into the game here. Drafting phase onto us. Folks, Blacklist chose to go blue this time around as they ban out the Franco and the Kaja. Echo goes ahead and, despite switching sides, goes ahead and continues to ban out the Estes and the Joy.
Yeah. I was actually thinking that Echo might be a little bit more confident with playing against the Estes this time around and ban the Faramis instead. And then, for sure, I think Echo is going to be taking out the 1-1, most likely. However, the Estes ban, I believe, so warranted because of the performance of Oh My Venus, not in the regular season, but in this playoffs. With, I don't know what happened. It seems like they remembered again how to dominate with an Estes pick, and they did exactly that multiple times. Blacklist International, great ban here on the Lancelot after the game that Carl Teasy had. Of course, Echo will ban out here the 1-1. So, will this be, again, Fredrin, Glue, Valentina, and Arlot all still available here, and it's going to be the Glue as the first pick. Fredrin is open now for Echo. I'd want to see them take away the Valentina, but I wouldn't be surprised if they actually decide to take out the Eve by picking it up themselves, just so that it doesn't go into the hands of you.
Solid. Good calls there. Again, you know, we've been watching these two teams battle it out for months now, And although we've seen some different, I would say, I don't know if some people want to call them cheese stretch, pocket strategies, but they've been pulled out. But more or less, this is kind of what you expect too, right? Blacklist International, if the Faramis is going to be open, there it is. It's locked in, paired with the Farsa here.
I was going to say, instead of stealing away the Faramis, they steal away the Eve and then just let Blacklist go roughshod, whatever. MTB, Coach Dex, you can do whatever you want. And they give over this mid-lane duo. So at least now, despite Blacklist getting their hands on what they actually want, Echo now know what that mid-lane duo is.
Exactly. And they can go for a gold lane pickup here, or they can use this slot for a surprise pick if they want to go into the second phase so that they can target the pick of Al freely. But no, they decide, we need to go for surprises. Let's go for comfort. They pick up the Lapu-Lapu, and of course, you're going to take out the Claude in this scenario. The Claude with the rest of the lineup of Blacklist just gels so well. And considering the Echo has the Eve, they don't want to go up against that. Now, will they take out a Moskov? Will they take out a Beatrix on the side away from Blacklist International?
The design is very M4.
Yeah.
Looking at that first phase for Echo, the design is very M4.
Yeah, it is. You know, especially with the fact that you've got the Lapu-Lapu there. Anytime, you know, Sanford gets his hands on this, I think that's what people have is flashbacks of M4, man.
Yeah.
You know, because of just the way that he plays this hero alone. So already, you know, final bans coming out here for the second phase. That was the Akai being taken out here as the jungle options kind of get whittled down a little bit. But that's what I'm wondering too, you know. Do we see Wise kind of go back to those pocket picks of himself? We have previously seen even the Baksha pop up worked really well for them, especially the way they like to change that play style from game to game. But right now, the Lolita is that last ban, and the response for the first pick of the second phase from Echo is the Beatrix.
Okay, so Blacklist International might avoid or will try as much as possible to pick a marksman that would want to pick up, or that can pick up a Purifier rather, because the Yaoi pickup here might be a big one. With all these heroes gone, Franco, Kaja, Kufra, Lolita, Hakayawi, the Cho is still available for him if he wants to. So Blacklist picks here will determine if you can pick that up, as Baksha and Carry are the pickups here for Blacklist. Cho, Atlas, traditional tanks, if they want to go down that route, is available for Echo.
And again, if it's the Atlas, it skews the battle spell choices. Expect to see a Purify. And when that happens, at some point it's a crapshoot. Hey look, some old friends. It's Cap, it's Coach, it's Hito, and it's the GOAT, who just recently, actually on social media, passed the torch. Rebo called Carl the GOAT.
The passing, I was going to say the passing of the GOAT, but I guess I don't know. The passing of the GOAT torch.
Works out for me.
Does that work?
I'm pretty sure the passing of a GOAT is like, what do you call that, a traditional marriage
somewhere.
Yeah.
Thing
somewhere
to
in the
do.
world.
Yeah.
Yeah, GOAT is common pasture. Last pick up here for Echo. That's the Yaoi pick. It's the Grok.
Yeah. They pick up the Grok, of course. They just wanted access onto the Farsa. They need that setter. So, and it seems like they're not confident to play the Cho or an Atlas in that scenario because of one of the options that you mentioned to consider. The skewing of the battle spells. Purifies might be forced out here. So Grok instead seems to be the safer pick and choice for Echo.
Can I just ask, why have we not seen Atlas pop up?
As often.
At all? Like, has he popped up at all in the playoffs?
Once in the Echo RSG matchup earlier today.
Okay, so
just
like
once.
You know, that's
Just
surprising. Because it just seems like a good option, but I guess, you know, maybe he's not so great in the meta right now.
Yeah, no, again, the fact that he skews the way you engage, and I don't know, it might be too honest. That's the problem earlier. It was too honest, and teams just had an answer. Going into game 2, this time around, look at this. The double XP lane start from Blacklist is back.
There it is. We were looking for it earlier. Smart adjustment here for Blacklist. It'll delay Sanford, make Edward be more present throughout the map. Oh My Venus gets the middle minion wave to hit number 2. And again, because of the XP lane siege minion, that's how you get quick level 2s across these 3 members of Blacklist and those positions that you see right now.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's, already Sanji's going to have to burn that flicker early on. So already a minor win here for Blacklist International,
Yes.
but nothing, nothing crazy just yet.
They're not letting Echo's main artery breathe. They feigned the XP pressure and then like, nope, Sanji, Yaoi, you'll watch yourselves.
Yeah, Blacklist, with how aggressive they're going around the map, the rotational speed of one Baksha, Blacklist can play like how Echo played earlier. Play fast, play aggressive. And it seems like with the rotations of UNO My Venus, yeah, they understand, okay, we can build up, speed up Owl. This carry is a comfort and at this point, a signature pick for the gold laner of Blacklist.
I like it. And right now, all this leading up into the first turtle of the game here.
Oh.
They can find any advantage, right? But mostly looking for those level 4s. Definitely going to want to contest this one compared to what we saw in the previous game, right? Where Blacklist just kind of gave those up. So already they're going to go and clash it out into the river. They go. Quite low is Sanford. And he will fall. First blood being drawn by Blacklist International. And now Turtle also for the taking here, but Carl Teasy and Yaoi still in the zone. Edward gonna use the split, gets the Appraiser's Wrath out as well. They're a little bit outnumbered. Here they come. Feathered Airstrike used as well, and Carl Teasy will fall. Sanji unleashing on Edward with the real world manipulation, can't dodge it enough. He's still alive for a little bit longer. Sanji on the run. Edward, though, still trying to get away. Yaoi had to use the flicker. And Sanji grabs the killing blow.
Turtle's still withstanding. And the thing is, Agent Zero, yeah, he was going to die anyways. So,
Yes.
minor win for Blacklist. They bought time there.
I love what Sanford did there. He really waited and held on to the Bravest Fighter activations because he was waiting for the immunity that the Faramis ult gives a team if it's expended way too early. Once that was gone, he was able to deal the damage and get a crucial kill there for Echo, but Blacklist played that so well also.
Well, now they're going to go for it again. Turtle going to reset. Still no one claiming the first one of the game. Just showing how much objective focus they're going to be here. Who grabs it? It's Carl Teasy securing the turtle.
Ooh.
Blacklist International still wants to fight.
Oh,
Edward
no.
going to bring Carl Teasy back here. The damage is there. He will fall. Sanford going to jump in. Wise quite low. 40 goes. He gets Yue. Now Wise on the run here. Sanford still up. 2 versus 1. Split going to be used here. He will get whittled down. He falls. Wise gets taken down with the auto attack. Sanji with another kill.
It's weird. Our most peaceful lane is the gold lane.
Yeah.
They live in an island.
Opposite of what happened earlier in game number 1. I like the decision-making of these two teams, knowing that, okay, they can fight in certain scenarios. It'll be worse if we actually don't fight and just back off. It's not that it's messy, it's just calculated how these two teams are fighting right now early on in this game number 2. Sanji with an Ice Queen wand should help with the speed that Blacklist International has and the mobility that they have in fights, especially up against Wise's Baksha, who's trying to look for Benny Cutie.
Yeah, he's going to find the stun on Benny Cutie, but should be fine. Yaoi there, thankfully for him as well. So, results into nothing, but like you guys mentioned, little cheeky stop there from Benny Cutie.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? We mentioned how Golden is relatively peaceful.
Yeah.
Echo and Blacklist say, you know what? Let's bring the party over there. Turtle is spawning, so expect that in the next 30 seconds to a minute, that's where things are going to get rowdy. What can we expect in this XP lane duel? Because look, Sanford in the first 5 minutes of this game has been instrumental, has been super important in Echo clapping back, regaining this lead. And, caught easy! Grand Theft Orange!
Yeah, he's going to just take that away.
Steal.
Anytime he can, he's going to do it.
My buff.
Carl Teasy gets it, and that'll help the tempering of the rotational speed of Wise's Baksha. But again, it's still a very close game. Even without an orange buff, it's not a massive loss. He's not dependent on it, but it is still a very small win regardless. They still have to watch out for the objective. Wise.
Wise going to come crashing in. They get the flicker out from Sanji. Still going to be fighting for the turtle here. Conceal play going to be used. Yaoi charges in with a wild charge. The damage isn't enough. Colt Alter going to come down, still fighting for it. Going to be cut off with the Guardian's barrier, and Wise will fall. Turtle secured by Echo.
The Guardian's barrier. Perfect placement there by Yaoi, because it looked bad for Echo because the Queen held on to her cult altar for so long, maximizing the hell out of that, but one Guardian's barrier was enough. Blacklist could not have dodged into it, and after that turtle wins for Echo across the map. Mid lane and top lane, outer turrets are down for Blacklist.
Just readjusting to their speed, they might have gotten gassed here. They might have been caught out of their breath.
Echo, how they're playing right now, despite Blacklist taking it to them, and Blacklist are making the right calls with taking the fight to Echo, just trying to outmaneuver them, beat them, outclass them. But Echo are the ones who are doing that. In the most recent sequences that we've seen in the game. $2.5K gold lead, not that difficult to get past. They just need to watch out and wait for some key abilities outside from Echo and then engage.
Yeah, that's the thing too, right? With this lineup that Blacklist International has, you are able to be very mobile, move around the map, play to the objective, but Owl gonna be in trouble. Once again, the flicker comes out. We've seen Sanford do it before. He did it again. There's the wild charge from Yawi. Benicuti gonna follow up. Oh my Venus will fall in the jungle. Echo furthering the express down the tracks.
You're just pushing the advantage here. They know. Renmar, was it just a minute ago you said it was 2.5K? Nothing to worry about? It's ballooning to 4!
Yeah, and now you gotta worry if you're Blacklist International, because this means Echo can just continue to freely play aggressive in your own jungle, but Wise will try to look for Sanji.
Wise gonna find Sanji, gets the flicker down. Oh my Venus though, quite low, has to use the Colt Altar. There goes Sanford, jumping in with the bravest fighter, will find the Queen. She falls, and now this is the green light for Echo to take the Lord.
Wow.
Turtle.
Echo. Lord Turtle.
Lord Turtle.
He has a title.
It's that quick, man. That's how fast this game has gone. You could have sworn it was a Lord.
Oh no, Owl! Looks like it's gonna be another possible quick game here. Echo pressing on the gas.
Oh, King Wise caught here in an Echo sandwich. Find Sanji again.
They're gonna find Sanji. There they go with a wild charge. Can they follow up on the kills here? Sanji does fall, but Sanford once again proving massive. Benicuti will get another kill. The chase for Wise. UA there to help him out. Wise quite tanky enough, but Carl Teasy now joining the fight, gets the taunt off. Benicuti getting the shots with Renner. There's the Appraiser's Wrath, and it'll be a mega kill for Benicuti.
Oh dear Lord, you see how potent that shotgun is? Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen a Wesker do work, but Owl felt that.
Actually, it's something Benicuti likes to do. I even noticed that starting at M4, in certain moments, he does favor that shotgun just to get that sure kill. And that was a nice switch up. Great call by Benicuti to switch up the guns there. Malefic Roar is the item he has, and no wonder the damage coming out of that Beatrix in the lead. Owl still struggling, just picked up the golden staff though, but the rest of Blacklist needs to catch up in terms of items. Look at the difference between the two mid laners. Only a Clock of Destiny there for Yue. The damage on this Farsa, you'll barely feel it at this point. But look at the items on Sanji already onto the glowing wand. You know, favorite item of the Eve.
And the thing about the Eve here this time around is it's been a prime target for Blacklist International. Weirdly enough, it's Wise who's actually given this task. But the fact is, Sanji can just keep counting on his flicker, and so far, it's worked.
Yeah, he's been great with the flicker, even the last game, and proving here as well. Benicuti able to pick up the Haas Claws, gonna extend his already phenomenal gameplay and positioning on this Beatrix.
Haas Claws was Wesker, imagine that.
Yeah.
It's like he has a cult altar of his own.
Man, that Beatrix really needs to be spotted out by Blacklist, but how can they? seems like it might get to the point where if Blacklist can extend the team fight long enough so that it's mengikuti left alone or with just another member of Echo, that's how they'll try to get to him. Man, Echo and their Echo Express just acknowledging their power spikes, knowing that after a key victory, a certain point in the game, after that turtle, they made the right calls, pushed top, pushed mid, and then they just continued it. And now a comeback by Blacklist looks extremely difficult.
Man, they're circling their prey, much like the killer whales that they are. The school of orcas are outside the base of Blacklist International, the base of the agents. Oh, man. You can hear it. It's so real, you can hear it.
You can hear it from Renmar right now. Conceal play gonna be used. Oh, he's gonna go in, finds targets. No stun gonna be there. Immortality will come down. Lord still being up here. They have to deal with this. They will lose the inhibitor turrets. Bottom, mid, top lane stands. Echo, do they want to go for more? Sanford gonna jump in with the bravest fighter.
Watch
the fire comes in. Chasing Bravo! Will find him before he falls himself. And they're happy with it. Edward trying to buy some time, but mengikuti unleashing the damage. And Oh My Venus will go down. Now Edward gonna be the next target. mengikuti is unstoppable. Echo looking to end game 2 here. UA in trouble. Will heal back up. It's Wise defending the crystal. Echo a couple hits away and they do it. They take game 2.
Shades of M4. I hate to say it, folks, but this is exactly how we felt. Calling that match in Sinayan, Tennis Indoor. Echo is at 2-0 in this best of 7.
World Championship form for the reigning world champions. It's only 2 games. It's the best of 7. But this is how you start a long series against your rivals in dominating fashion.
Folks, another revelation. This is how ready Echo is. This is the furthest any team in the Season 11 playoffs has taken Blacklist International. Every single series they played so far, opponents have only gotten 1 game. This is as far as it gets.
And not only that, but you got to say, it was dominating both games. You know, it was literally the Echo Express, and they never let up. And Blacklist International, for both games now, could not find the answers they were looking for in either of those games to really turn the tides. And so what is the answer there? You know, as they get prepped up, as we look towards game 3 ahead of us before all this.
You know, going back again to what we just witnessed, especially in that game number 2, because of how Echo are playing and Blacklist confident in their own team fighting abilities, which they should be, one of the reasons why Echo got a massive win after that turtle, getting down the mid turret and the top turret, is because Blacklist weren't managing their minion waves as well as they could have. So Blacklist International, before they go into a fight against Echo, need to really watch their minion wave management. Because if they lose that fight, and Echo were managing the minion waves much better, Echo will get a massive win out of it.
And how Echo did that is actually very, very meticulously. Unlike a Baksha, the Fredrin has to actually, with a lot of swag, walk towards these major objectives and these rotations. So that's Echo outplaying Blacklist or out-macroing them on another level because of the fact that they force them to not pay attention to these waves.
Yeah, it's insane how it worked. And again, there was a point in time where there was 3 levels on Wise, and that just kind of paints the picture.
That's difficult. We'll throw it over to the Mimi duo at the analyst stand to break down game number 2. It's your turn, fellas. Talk to us.
Seems like Echo is finding the groove and finding their momentum against Blacklist International as they secured a 2-0 lead versus Blacklist. Mirko, this is quite familiar for you. You know, this is the rematch between Blacklist and Echo in M4, which is sad because you don't have your team there representing your country.
Hey, man, okay, stop right there. It's fine, it's fine. But you're right, it is very, very deja vu-ish, right? 2-0 start for Echo right now. Sanford and Lapu to add salt to the wound as well. So it really seems like, again, they have Blacklist's number right now. What does Blacklist need to do to come back at it?
You know, the thing is, Blacklist, they had a draft down, right? This is the typical ube composition and strategy that we're used to seeing. But it felt like Echo, they know the limits of the composition. Like, they started slow. You mentioned this earlier when we were discussing behind the camera. They start slow. And the thing is, they don't want to give any form of momentum towards Blacklist International. And when they were able to get their resource up, get the levels on mengikuti, they ramped up. And I feel like it has something to do with the gameplay of Yawi on the Grok. He closed down business. He literally closed down Yawi's food hub against Blacklist International and did not give any form of free farm towards the gold laner.
Definitely no farm at all. So much space given as well because of just the little mechanics that he's able to pull off. Amazing walls throughout. A lot of people, take advantage of the wild charge, the power of nature, but that barrier for Yawi, it's another CC/zoning ability that he utilizes so well in these team fights. I think a couple of times Blacklist International were completely zoned out from the Lord Pit actually because of a well-placed wall. We've seen this throughout the regular season, and we also mentioned it earlier when it was the last pick for Echo. We were thinking, maybe they need some more AoE CC, something like an Atlas, but hey, that can be purified. The Grok, a bit too instant to be purified.
Yeah, even if you purify, the positioning is there for Echo. And I love the start that Echo managed to pull off. Again, with the minion thing that Yawi did, it felt like he found the ingredient against Ubi's strategy. You don't fight Blacklist, you fight the minions. You control the resources that Blacklist gets. And even if Blacklist gets to the turtle first, you try to contest it as much as you can. Because the thing about Echo's lineup is that their scaling, it's linear. They're still strong at mid-game. Even if we give up some kills in the start, as long as Blacklist does not get a turtle for free, they're going to be able to get that power spike even much faster compared to what Blacklist is supposed to do. Like, say, you can imagine Blacklist ramping up towards the late game, but you also have to go towards where Echo is really strong in the mid game. So it's kind of like trading the idea of resources that Wise is used to doing. Echo took that personally and made a macro decision. Hey, let's not be passive here. Let's try to fight against Blacklist International so that we stop any form of momentum that we can get. And when they were able to get the resources up on mengikuti, that's where things start to go out of control for Blacklist International. Every lane was visited by the Orcas.
Why that can happen is honestly, again, from the mid-control that Echo will not let go. Blacklist International, they came up with a few new adjustments here in game number 2 with the drafts coming in. They already picked up a Farsa, a lot of mid-control with the Faramis into the roam, and even the Baxia. So they have a lot of mobility that they didn't have in game number 1. But Echo, they're always a step ahead, right? They pick up the Yi, but they go for another dynamic here with Grok in the mid lane. Again, easily clearing out waves, and obviously that barrier can stop the mid waves from coming down, and it automatically just builds up to Echo's push in the end. For Blacklist International as well, you can really see it here from the teamfight participation. It feels like Owl is a bit too passive this game. We mentioned that maybe it's because of the matchups that we've given him so many times, but I think for the sake of it, right? Sanford is your MVP for game number 2.
Relive the moment where Sanford brought chaos to Indonesia. Now he's bringing chaos towards Blacklist International. Again, you mentioned the presence of the Lapu-Lapu. That final kill onto the carry, albeit some might say it's a little bit unnecessary, but it adds to style points for Echo. And you know what? That's what Echo is known for. The style of the kills that they make, the ability to find kills where nobody could find it. And Sanford seems to have this constant ability to make kills happen for the squad. And it feels like the shutdown came from this man alone. Like, we saw a team fight in the mid lane where Blacklist International grouped up. They were able to take 1 kill on Echo. But Sanford was like, hey, I remember this moment. I'm always at this moment. I see 4 heroes, I jump. I take 2 heroes, and suddenly it's the end of the game.
As someone once said, right, he knows exactly what to do. And in that particular situation, he did as well. I think it's completely necessary, honestly. Looking at it, getting the carry down in a high ground defense, but all throughout the game, you could see the adjustments made by Blacklist International. This wasn't the same game, though it was the same outcome. Blacklist International made a few of the right adjustments, but it's a bit too steady and it's a bit too slow. They got the early game, but in the mid game, they still were actually just brought into that chaos that Echo constantly pushes onto you.
they did a fantastic job on holding Echo before they get to that point where momentum is just on their side. Yue was doing a fantastic job on the far side, but again, as you mentioned, it feels like there is a certain aspect or department on the side of Blacklist that is severely lacking. It is the presence of the gold laner. Maybe because it's because of the matchup between the Beatrix and the carry. That's why I feel like Echo is prioritizing these aggressive gold laners like the Harriets, the Lunox, even the Mincitars, because they figured out that late game, yes, it's a it's a thing that you need to contest, the carry and Claude matchup, but Echo synergizes with this hero pretty well. Like the Beatrix, again, we discussed it earlier when Benicuti was able to get his items by minute 8. Echo was everywhere. They were all over the map, and Blacklist International, they were trying to find more resources, more farm for Owl, but it did not happen because Echo was always in the face of the carry. Sanford, personally, was always in front of Owl.
We gotta give massive props to Coach Tic Tac, man, because we keep on bringing up the drafts, the winning lanes, and it's all set up by Coach Tic Tac, right? You could see, again, just how it ultimately works in the end, coming together in a very chaotic mess. Even in the last team fight, it was chaotic.
Yeah, this is game number 2 for Echo, a victory for the Orcas. Now, I've learned this on Twitter, so let us ramp up the energy of the agents. Blacklist! There you go, one more time. Blacklist! Hey, how about the other side?
Hey, all right, let's try it. Ladies and gentlemen, Echo loud! Echo loud!
Ooh, let's see if Echo will be able to get to the match point. As, again, they are now 2-0. It feels like they have something figured out against Blacklist International, but hey, the agents always make amazing comebacks in a very long series. Again, this is a best of 7 match. Adjustments could still come a long way for Blacklist. But before anything else, let's head on over to our courtside. Odin, take us away.
Hi everyone! Magandang gabi! Dahil dyan, buhay na buhay pa ang mga agents! Mag-ingay! Hi everyone! This is your very own Odin at kasama ko ngayon ang buff ng Blacklist International. Walang iba kundi si Coach Bonchan, si Oheb, and si Uncle Eson. Kumusta naman ang mga na-rester reveal for this season? Kumusta po kayo?
Masaya yung pagkakapahinga namin. Although, nandito pa rin talaga kami para buong pusong suportahan yung Blacklist International.
Yun, kahit nagpahinga kayo, nandito pa rin kayo to support. And gusto kong matanong si Oheb. Hi Oheb, kumusta
Hello.
yung run mo sa MDL?
Okay lang.
Okay lang. And kasama mo doon si Owl, di ba? So nung nalaman mo na aangat siya dito sa MPL, ano ang ni-advise mo sa kanya?
Sabi ko, kayang-kaya niya yan lahat, kahit sino.
Oy, kayang-kaya daw ni Owl kahit sino, di ba, agents? Oheb, di ba usapan na natin yung gold standard at tinaguri ang si Keller daw ang gold standard. Ano naman masasabi mo doon?
Kaya all nga, di siya nanalo eh.
Oy! Oy! Sheesh! So tingin mo kaya ni Owl itong game na to?
Siyempre, kayang-kaya yan.
Iba talaga si Oheb. So I have to go with you, Coach Bon. Mainit din yung mga usapan, di ba? Nung una, parang sinabi na humina daw yung Blacklist International. And sa playoffs daw, sila ang unang malalaglag. Pero nakita naman natin, nandito sila ngayon. Battling para sa championship. Ano masasabi niyo doon, Coach?
Di naman nabago yun para sa amin. I mean, since Season 7 naman, ganun yung prediction na hindi man kami aabot ng playoffs hanggang sa nag-S8 na hindi. Sa S7 lang kayo. Hanggang sa nag-S10 na wala na. Tapos na yung era nyo. Hanggang ngayon sa pagdating ng S11 na una kayong malalaglag hanggang pang third lang kayo, yun na lang kaya nyo. Pero yan, nandun pa din talaga sa final. Sinasabi, basang-basa na. Pero, ayun, patuloy pa rin yung paglaban.
Uy, may puso pa rin! Ang Blacklist International! Lumalaban pa! And we are now at 2-0 at lumalamang ang Echo ngayon. Uncle Eson, ano sa tingin mo ang dapat gawin ng Blacklist International para makabawi sila sa mga susunod na serye?
Pairalan lang nila, puso lang. Kayang-kaya pa yan, matagal pa yung laban.
Tagal pa ang laban! Sa inyong prediction, aabot ba to ng Game 7?
Paabutin natin para sulit yung ticket.
Hoy, sulit ang init! Pampaganda ng documentary. Ang dami pa ring agents dito, no? Ano naman masasabi nyo na ang dami pa ring sumusuporta sa Blacklist International?
Sobrang thankful talaga kami sa Blacklist Agents dahil although nung regular season ay sobrang shaky ng naging start ng team namin, hanggang pagdating ng playoffs, talagang buong puso nilang sinuportahan. Halos nga 3/4 ng tao sa venue talagang agent. So sobrang pasasalamat talaga namin dahil doon nagmumula yung lakas namin.
Okay, bago natin i-throw sa casters, hinga natin kayo ng cheer. Sabay-sabay natin sabihin Blacklist at sasagot naman ang ating mga agents. 3, 2, 1.
Blacklist!
Maraming salamat po. Kaya naman, balik muna sa inyo, casters.
Thank you so much. Lovely to hear from Odin from the sides as well. Joined by former members of Blacklist International. Happy to see my baby brother again. Nice to see Oheb in here.
I was gonna say, man, you know, there's a lot of just, I was gonna say power, like power in this room, in the stadium. Not only the audience, right, but just the amount of players visiting, really showing their support. Because again, this is now a 2-0 series, right? It is a best of 7. Midnight and Mirko mentioned, hey, there's a lot of time here, but eventually, if Echo gets another game like they had the previous ones, they're going to be at match point.
Regardless of who wins tonight's championship, the hashtag Taon ng Tagumpay continues. Support our Cebol men and women MLBB delegates in the upcoming 32nd SEA Games, happening from May 11th to 14th in Phnom Penh, Cambodia. Go for gold. Now, that being said, I invite everybody to hashtag Muling Lumakad Matatag, and that means march strong once again, because we've been winning golds since 2019.
Major tournaments, international, although we did have IESF. But of course, other than that,
we don't talk about that one.
We don't talk about that one. I mean, World Championship gold medals for sure. And yeah, these are, when you think about the excellence of the Philippines, especially for a lot of the newer fans of Mobile Legends Bang Bang, a lot of them think about these two. They think about Blacklist International, they think about Echo. So we enter the game number 3, the draft again. Wow, how Echo have been drafting this has just been near immaculate. Getting the right picks, but most importantly, of course, against Blacklist International, you can outdraft them. Can you outplay them? So far, Echo are. Their management of minion waves, their management of the map, and most specifically, the targeting, not only in team fights, but at the specific moments in the game when players are just trying to rotate or trying to lane, it's just so great, and hence why the key players, the rookies in Blacklist International, in Yue and Owl, have been struggling so far this series.
Yeah, they've had a hard time, right? There's been a lot of focus there, and I think even in this case, with these last 2 bans here for the first phase, Echo might be trying to get the Joy ban out or even priority it, right? There's the Valentina. They focus on that. So the option is here. Does Blacklist International take out the Joy? Because if they don't, most likely it's going to be priority pick for Echo, because we've seen how much havoc that one hero can cause, unless they have a different plan, right? But we'll see how this last ban comes out from Blacklist.
Last ban. Oh, wow. This is the first time I've seen a lot of Francos and Kajas open.
That's right.
Oh.
That's right. This is the Wild West approach to drafting. And they attack Carl TZ's hero pool here, taking out the Lancelot.
Time to drop them.
Of course.
There it is.
Also,
like I mentioned,
the elephant in the room, the joy in the room, the Leonin in the room.
Yeah, finally opened up here in this game. And now Kaja makes perfect sense right now for Blacklist International. They don't have to worry about giving away the suppress to Echo. If Blacklist don't pick up the Kaja here, Echo will pick it up. And I don't think Blacklist want to do that. So this could be Kaja Fredrin, or maybe, I wonder if they're willing to Eve into this Joy.
Kaja Eve.
Kaja Eve, yeah. Classic combo as well with all the slows that they have, almost a sure catch. And it is disruptive to have the Echo playstyle, but no, it's Fredrin, Kaja. It has to be, right?
Hey,
it's not?
They decided to opt for the, I thought it said Eve for a second. They opted for the Farsa here.
So the threat here is if Echo pick up the Kaja, does Oh My Venus have a Franco? Because you can't have one of the. Are they going to force Echo to go into the second phase and not pick up either? Are they treating each like such a commodity?
Maybe. I feel like right now they're just deciding who's gonna bite the bait of Kaja's open, who's gonna pick it first. But at the same time, if this is gonna be a Kaja for Echo, I wouldn't be surprised if Blacklist just go ahead and pick up a Lolita later on. Or actually even in the third, because it could get banned out. No one's picking up Kaja. And now actually, Yeah, Blacklist will even think about picking up the Kaja because it's up against an Eve.
Something tells me Coach Treb and Coach Tick are looking at each other and saying, yo, that's the bait. This is the MTB Gambit. This is the Dexstar Gambit.
Yeah.
I get it. They both get it. This is a chess match among world-class coaches, world-class teams.
No!
And they're doing just that. The Kaja and the Franco go into the second phase.
Okay, does that mean that then, do they even want to go towards like, okay, Kaja on the board possibly for Blacklist, but like Renmar mentioned, it's not the best option.
That's right.
You know, going against the Eve because
window closed.
Yeah, window's kind of closed there. So now, do we see these bans still targeting those roam options for Blacklist International from Echo?
Yeah, they might take out Lolita, the counter engage, but then it's up against an Akai. Of course, Blacklist will take out the Franco here. They might consider one banner No My Venus, but maybe a banner and an Owl hero might be better. Such as this, they take away the Melissa, Farsa together are a fantastic combo, and it's a really good front line here for Blacklist International. Blacklist decide to take out the Kaja, so it becomes a second phase ban for Blacklist.
They were going to pick it anyways.
Yeah, so it's a restructuring of orders, of bans and pickings for both teams. And again, I'm still so surprised that no one bit the bait here. And maybe we'll see at the end of this draft who that benefits more.
Yeah, who it paid off for.
Yeah, I'm wondering if, you know, with now that the bans here are done, what exactly does Yaoi want to play?
Might end up with a Kufra.
Kufra,
Or
yeah.
I'm not turning off the idea of, whoa, what if Benikuti goes Lunox? But then that's a lot of magic damage, and then Yaoi goes Rome Akai. But considering that it's a Fredrin.
I've been waiting for too long.
What if they go Hayabusa for Girl TZ?
Not impossible. Yeah. That's a couple of solid soft targets already.
Okay.
And there it is, Yaoi's Cho, or as they say, Cho's Yaoi.
Yeah. And it's a Matilda pickup.
Classic.
Classic. This is what Blacklist likes to play, use up against lineups like this that they're up against. But right now, this puts a lot of pressure on Edward and Wise. If Blacklist don't have okay, respectable early to mid game here, that means Edward and Wise were just punished hard. They're going to be holding a lot of the front lines.
Yeah, I think for Blacklist International, if they can at least, let's say early game, have an okay rotation in the jungle, deal with it, but also not let the Joy just kind of wreak havoc. That's exactly what she's drafted for early on and why she's so priority for a lot of teams, because you can actually do so much with that Joy pick, especially towards the back lines here. So you got to be able to cover your bases, and at the same time, man, we know how much damage this Cho is going to be able to do.
Yeah.
If Yaoi is Cho, Carl is Lancelot, then Oh My Venus is Matilda and or Estes. So that's how textbook and that's how meaningful this draft has become for both teams. Again, Blacklist up against the wall, currently not on the board just yet. Let's get into game 3.
Management of the early to mid game here is crucial for Echo because of the two main pieces that they have in the Eve and the Beatrix. So after taking a bit of damage, or a lot of damage there from Edward.
This is dangerous.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Yue was going to try to put some pressure up there, but, you know, they already got the word, so Sanford's going to back off.
Yeah, but even though he goes back, because of when he completed the recall animation, as the minion 08's responding, he'll be able to get back in time without that big of a problem, without Edward getting anything actually on the shields. But this rotation of Blacklist is smart. Wise going out first there, but Yaoi Kaltizi responds in turn 2 closer up top.
So about a minute until the turtle comes out, and yeah, checking in for the first minute of this game, Blacklist reverts to the non-double XP lane start. So we've seen both kinds of the Ube strat in Season 11 come through, and Echo had an answer for both.
Exactly. Now, still slow and steady for both. Gonna be watching out. Ooh.
Yeah.
I like what Wise did there. That was a smart use of the dashes that he had.
Oh,
he
might get punished here. He's not going to be able to get away from this one. Wise will go down. First blood in the hands of Carl TZ. 15 seconds away from the first turtle of the game. So a little advantage already starting for Echo.
Good news, Wise gonna make it back for the turtle take. Bad news, you don't want your jungler dying this early.
That was uncharacteristic of Wise for that to happen. But here comes Edward. Oh, they might be able to contest.
Edward going to come in, does have that level 4. Uses the final slash, but also still going to be fighting for the turtle. Sanji dropping the real world manipulation. Here comes Sanford. They're going to go in. Carl T's able to secure it. There's the way of the dragon. Wise going to be cut off here. Sanford popping the beats here. No one going to fall. Turtle secure for Echo.
Wow, I really thought Blacklist were going to take that.
Clean!
But Echo decided to stick and fight. And Sanji's real-world manipulation was crucial there as well. And of course, the timing of the entry of Sanford. The Sansan duo came in big in that crucial first turtle.
That's what makes the Sansan duo so dangerous. The fact that it's an XP laner and a mid laner that's so in sync, that's so mechanically gifted. Fast and messy.
To add injury to injury, as that entire sequence was happening, Al was just solo killed by Benny Cutie.
Before the whole sequence.
Yeah. Before the whole sequence, actually. And this is, again, just Echo continuing their best qualities in Game 1 and Game number 2. And Blacklist just trying to readjust and answer to it. Echo right now still in the flow and in the zone. Blacklist, what else could they do here to actually turn the tides, a counter punish onto a failed Yaoi attempt probably. But right now, with the lineup and the positioning of Sanji and the timing of entry of Carl TZ.
Oh, Lord.
Echo are making sure they have those insurance plans.
Oh, Wise going to be forced out from his orange buff. He might still be able to get it, but look at that. Sanford going to hold him. Forced back to the base, going to lose his buff. Meanwhile, Turtle now up here, second one of the game. UA now getting a position. Oh My Venus holding down the front. The damage is there. The stun comes through. They get the flicker out from Yaoi. So he at least does not have that available. Echo still going back and forth. Edward now in Wise here. They also get the heavy spin out from Carl TZ. This could be a take for the turtle. Final slash going to come through. Sanji has the flicker. Here comes Sanford dancing on the queen. She will fall. Still Wise in position. Here Carl TZ does it again. And now they force Blacklist International back here. Appraiser's Wrath going to come down, but he gets kicked to the team, and Benny Cutie gets the kill.
Deja vu. That's a replay, but with more this time around from that initial sequence in the first hurdle.
Paint this image in your head, folks. A killer whale, an orca in the seas, ridden by a goat. Carl TZ again winning a retribution duel against Wise. And again, the factor of the Sanford late entry coming in big. And the response of Echo, Benny Cutie timing up that snipe with the kick of Yaoi.
Whoever will try to engage into turtle fights the way Carl TZ does here, I give you fair warning. Not everybody can do the same thing, especially if you don't have the same sync as Carl TZ does with the rest of Echo.
Yeah, and even in that fight, he didn't have the heavy spin because he had to use it early, right? So the fact that he's actually able to still accomplish that is insane and speaks volumes for exactly how much skill Carl TZ has here. So right now, it's Blacklist International, familiar territory from the previous 2 games, working against this Echo Express. Yaoi was looking for an angle, but they're going to focus on the tier 1. Carl TZ comes in with the heavy spin. Meanwhile, on the backside, Sanford will push him back too. No one's going to fall, though. A fight for a resource here could ensue. Yaoi gets the Jikundo up. Now, Sanford once again going to force back Wise from his buff. Still might have to go for it. Can't get it.
Oh, our buff, says Carl TZ.
Man, Echo, their layering of abilities is brilliant right now. And Yaoi, it's like he knows one of the conditions of Blacklist is, all right, counter punish a failed Yaoi attempt. Jikundo pickoff attempt.
We get it. It's what it is.
Yeah.
Everybody understands.
Yeah. And Yaoi held on to it, as you pointed out there, Naisu. The discipline on Yaoi to not pull the trigger there.
Yeah, still, once again, there's the trigger. Wise going to be the one to get kicked. Sanford heading for UA. Carl TZ secures another turtle. Wise going to fall here. Oh My Venus on the run. Can't get away from Sanji. 2 down. Looking for a third. Here comes Carl once again. Sanji and Benny Cutie making their way. Owl's in trouble. Now UA. The storm comes through.
First the king and the queen, and then the rest of the cavalry. Edward.
Legend Agent 0 one versus multiple.
Oh.
Still one hit away. Bob and Weavin can't get away. Sanford gets the kill.
Try as he did. Edward will fall to 4 and Echo 7.3K and counting gold lead. Not even 9 minutes in this game, it's 10-1. Everything Blacklist want to do to gain control, to turn it around, just keeps getting stopped over and over again by Echo. Their layering of entries, abilities, and timing. Yawi with a kick!
Yawi gonna get the way of the dragon once again off. The follow-up damage is gonna be there. They unleash. Carl TZ finds the lockdown on Edward. The damage comes through. Benny Cutie with another kill.
Gentlemen, is it just me or is the Echo Express getting faster and faster throughout the series? 7K. Almost 8K gold lead now, just about 8 minutes and just approaching 8 minutes and 30 seconds in.
The funny thing is, that was a miscalculation by Benny Cutie's Bennett's Rage because it did not hit Wise at all. It actually friendly fired himself, but of course no friendly fire in MLBB. But it's just Carl TZ entering perfectly again with that heavy spin.
That's just how much damage Echo's presenting. He miffed, but they got it anyways.
Yawi once again finding Owl here, but no follow-up to follow this time. He will get punished. Blacklist International finding a mistake. They're still gonna go. Oh my Venus comes through with a circling eagle. Sanji gonna be in trouble. Owl, here comes Sanford chasing him down. They pay him back, but it's two down. Heavy spin, finding 2. Oh my Venus down. Edward to follow. You can't stop the storm.
Double sandwich play into a 2-for-3 trade. Started out bad. They gave up the playmaker, but Echo comes out with more on the way out.
This isn't just the Echo Express now. Inside the train, if you look at one of the train carriages, there's an Echo buffet. The sandwiches that they've been dishing out to Blacklist International throughout this series. The late entries again. Benny Cutie making the most out of his dashes. He did not need to use Flicker in that scenario when we thought Blacklist found the perfect way to capitalize on an Echo mistake.
Oh, Renmar. Nice. It's about to happen again.
Oh, they're going to try to cut him off here. Turret a couple hits away. They find the lockdown on Edward. He's got to flicker around. Can they survive this? Sanford goes in with a vengeance. The follow through with Yawi. Wise is in trouble. Triple kill for Benny Cutie again. The guy is massive.
The Echo Express, as you put it, in one carriage has a buffet, in another a full ecosystem. It's like Snowpiercer in here, fam.
In the Philippines, you only got 2 seasons, dry and wet. Benny Cutie the Storm, he's wet right now. This is a wet performance, 8-0-6. This is just an absolute dismantling of Blacklist International. A Blacklist that looks so dominant in the playoffs. Echo, what are they on?
Where were these Orcas in the early days of the playoffs? Did it take their longtime rival Blast International to unlock this level of gameplay? Oh no!
Oh, they're still going to be going. Carl TZ has to heavy spin on the defense. He will get shut down by Owl. Still, Lord going to be up here. Echo trying to think twice. They will be fended off. Blacklist International deals with the base siege.
Despite the 10K gold lead, Blacks International defended amazingly.
Oh my God!
Oh!
You can't dodge that, I guess.
You can't defend that way if your farce is down like that. Where did that come from?
There's a sniper in the building. What in the heck? The Void Crystal from the Eve. Right at the tip. Sanji was like, all right, Benny, I set you up. The burn. Ooh, it's hot. It's hot.
Oh, Lord. He's wet and he's hot.
There's a whole lot.
Ouch. You catch a fever that way. That's how you get sick.
Yep. Fun fact, for the people coming here for M5, gotta avoid that. But now, let's see if Blacklist can avoid getting set up by Echo yet again. Edward, though, we gotta commend his final slash. Another snipe coming in from Benny. But those are little windows that Echo still, even with this crazy of a lead, cannot afford to give. You have to be careful. That was a fantastic final slash by Edward.
We're about 30 seconds away from a Luminous Lord. So again, the same situation as in games in this series prior. Not much for Blacklist. Yeah, they're getting kills, but not a single turret. Nice to look. Just that one turret up top. But It's still standing. It still counts.
It's technically still up, right? I know it's a one hit away, but as of right now, Blacklist doesn't have any objectives really for their favor, right? Now they're dealing with almost a 12K gold lead. And just these kind of check shots coming out from Benicuti are enough to deal with here for Blacklist International. They're probably just going to have to give up this Lord as well and hope for a defense of a lifetime.
Sanford clearing the minion wave like he did, even checking just in case. The minion waves up top, pushing there for Echo, definitely a free Lord. And now Blacklist will have to hope they have enough firepower, that they can layer their abilities well enough to punish what will be, most likely, a very aggressive entry here by Echo.
Okay, so good news. Blacklist has amazing Highland defense. They're rocking that carry. They're rocking that Farsa. If they need to, you know, bob and weave inside their own base, they have the Matilda, amazing Final Slash and Edward, the potential for the taunt. But that's best case scenario. I'm not so sure Echo's just going to allow all those layerings to come in at the right time because they're such great spoilers. They can play at their tempo. Again, Yawi on the show. That alone has to be a threat.
We posed the question earlier, the possibility of Yawi going back on one of his signature heroes. The Echo M4 skin that I'm pretty sure we'll be getting. But now with the Siege, what can Blacklist do?
Here they go. Yawi's going to decide to go in. Finds a way the dragon. Oh my, Venus going to fall. Carl Teasy on the backside plus Sanford forcing him back. Benicuti going to flicker in. It's not enough for Blacklist. Another triple comes through. And now Echo finds him at match point.
The Orcas threaten. Match point. 3-0 in a best of 7. I said it again. From Jakarta to here, Blacklist has to pull something out right here, right now.
It has to be at this moment. You do not want to be in this scenario. Backs against the wall, against a team known for taking it to their opponents when they sense weakness, when they sense vulnerability, they will pounce. One more game potentially, one more game.
What's going on? You gotta wonder what's going on in the camp of Blacklist International.
I don't know, man. Now it's 3 games in a row where they've just been taken by the Echo Express. And they have no response on how to get off of it. And because every game up to this point, there hasn't been really a time where they've had that lead.
Tit for tat, draft, gameplay, execution, I'd say even mental. Echo has them trumped.
Yeah. There's something about right now how the members of Blacklist are moving. It's still the tight, the formations are there, but then the moments where players being able to pull out some creative tricks like, what do you call it, improvisational skills, there we go. Moments of improvisation. Yes, thank you, there, words. It seems like Blacklist are falling short in that scenario, and Echo are just pouncing on it. It's a hesitation slightly from Blacklist. We have a term here in the Philippines. The aura of Echo may be a bit too much.
I have to say, that's right, especially for the rookies. You're watching Yue, you're watching Owl.
Yeah.
They're not exactly playing the way they have in the first few days of the playoffs. Now let's throw it over to our analysts. They're going to try to break it down here. Let's talk about Game 3.
Sanford, Benny, Sanji, Cortese, and Yawi. They are styling on Blacklist International. It's happening again midnight.
Man, the Filipino casters have said it. Holy sheesh.
Wow.
It was, I would say, an outclass and an outdraft. A mix of both. And you know, it has to start with the ideology again of Echo. They just kept on running and running against Blacklist International. We mentioned earlier, well, we did discuss earlier behind the cameras that Blacklist, they don't have any answers against this first pick Joy. And this was something that was done against them yesterday when they were fighting against RSG. And Echo, they did have the Beatrix once again in this game, which propelled them towards the mid-game success that they had on game number 2. And it feels like, again, I have to say this, I have to be brutally honest. It seems like Echo has figured out Blacklist International.
It really does, right? I mean, if you look at the drafts as well, it feels like for Blacklist International, they're more concerned of team synergy and how the composition actually works together than they are of the winning matchups. That's ultimately giving Echo so much of an upper edge in the early game through these lanes. Beatrix versus carry, Owl. Every single game on the carry, Beatrix. We've seen it 2 games now. It's been the Beatrix just heavily forcing him out of lane. Not even just using the lead to go for a siege. No, he's actually utilizing the wave manipulation to bully the carry out, to get a 2,000, 1,000 gold lead on the board in the start of the game against that carry.
Yeah, you know, I'm a jungler player. I know jungle matchups. It's Akai versus Fredrin. We saw this from Setsui. It is a great answer versus the Fredrin against objectives because you do have that heavy spin, but you also mentioned that there is a factor between the Beatrix and carry matchup.
It's just super hard already, right? And if you take into account the fact that Echo picked up that Cho and even the Akai, so much more CC, that kind of forces the carry to go for Purify. We mentioned it, he needs to go for the Flicker, and that he did. He went for the Flicker, but even then, it was not enough. They had so much mobility on Echo. It wasn't a one-dimensional draft. Yaoi was able to constantly find those crazy G-Kundos, and at this point, how do you stop this man, right? You play with a lot of anti-CC, maybe a Purify, a few?
Well, the thing is, even with a Purify, it didn't feel like Blacklist had enough tools against Echo because when we saw these skirmishes earlier, the team fights, like how Echo addressed Blacklist OB composition is just overload them with highlights, you know? Every targets on the side of Blacklist International have individual marks on them. Sanford has his own target, Cartesi has his own target, Sanji has his own target, and of course, Benicuri, well, he's targeting everybody on the side of Blacklist International, especially when he targeted Owl inside the base. He threaded 2 heroes to get a snipe onto Owl.
Threaded the needle on a Beatrix, and it's not even a signature pick, right? Benicuri absolutely popping off, but what I do want to mention is the fact that Echo played against the Ube to perfection. You mentioned a bit of it, but I really want to emphasize that top lane play where usually, you don't want to do that against Blacklist. You do not want to go 1 by 1, but they went in 1 by 1. They all just baited out resources, distracted, and gave their main 2 carries, Sanford and Benny, in that particular matchup, in that top lane skirmish, so much room to play. Because Sanji was the bait. You don't usually see this, but Echo, they're able to do it.
He was like, okay, I can turn. I have readword manipulation. I have shields. I have CC immunity. What do you have? You have damage and carry? Okay, I'll kill the carry. He turned, and after that, Echo was able to find an immaculate team fight that set him up for success. Again, the pin down from Cartesi, 2 heroes against Blacklist, and he does this constantly, even during the Turtle and Lord fights. The heavy spin is a valuable resource on the side of Echo because it allows you to basically reposition your heroes, reset the fight, and also control the movements of Blacklist International. This is the concept of displacement. You know, having this on the side of Echo alongside an Eve and a Joy, it's hard to counter that if you're a Blacklist because you only have 1 save. And that is on the Mathilda. And even the Mathilda was not able to save a lot of heroes on this matchup because there is that follow-up snipe coming out from the Benicuri.
What's strange as well is the fact that Blacklist International are just leaning onto, in my opinion, their default, their template here. They're not really getting creative at all. And that creativity was really why they were able to make it up into the upper brackets. First though, your MVP, it's Sanji for game number 3. And yeah, he played the Eve as a distraction in that top lane. He was the tank, man.
Yeah. He was like, okay, my highlights, it's not going to be kills. It's going to be setups. Like the amount of setups that I can bring for Echo because I have 4 playmaking heroes. I am not going to be greedy. I can set up for kills. I can turn team fights around because the thing is, Cartesi, when he uses that heavy spin, that's the last resource for a team fight. But if we use the real world manipulation first, how does Blacklist fight? How do they come into us? There's no possible way for Blacklist to fight into Echo with that setup without having to commit a lot of resource. And again, the carry, he seems too passive. Without the flicker, it feels like Blacklist cannot fight 5v5 at all against this lineup.
We kind of mentioned this as well while we were discussing in the game there. Sanji on the Eve, very dynamic. What enables him to be able to make these kind of plays happen, the adaptive maneuvers, right? Whether he uses the ultimate first or whether he waits till the end to deal damage. that's just basic mechanics. You gotta say it. Mechanical displays were shown off the entire game. From Carl Teasy winning the 50-50 retry battles, to them getting so many pin downs, to the crazy Benny Cutie snipe that threaded the needle. It was just Echo styling and outplaying Blacklist International.
Yeah, looking at it, the team fights that Echo pulled off against Blacklist International, they were really patient. And the amount of slows that is coming out from the Eve alongside the Ice Queen 1 really punishes the Fredrin pick of Blacklist International. And Wise didn't have a good game here. It's not because of the playstyle, but because of the genius behind the ideology of the clashes from Echo. And we see Blacklist International try to retaliate, but where's the damage? Where is the scaling power of the carry when you have this amplified presence coming off from the Beatrix, which just steamrolls over your lineup? And even if you do find that pickup on the Beatrix, again, there is a lot of re-engage factor coming off from Echo. Blacklist did, however, find some few kills on the bottom lane, but Yaoi was always consistently finding good pickoffs with a kick flicker, and this was the team fight that we were talking about earlier. The pin down from Carl Teasy setting up the success here for Echo, and this was allowed by the setup from Sanji's Eve.
A few times, right? This happened, and again, you can see the Eve just using the real-world manipulation as, you know, the last sort of damage here to actually enable Benny Cutie to get that triple kill, and this is it.
There you
the
go.
Needle thread from Benny and Sanji. The coordination from this team, at this point, I don't even think it's them communicating. It's just them understanding what they want to do. It's like, got telepathy, man.
Well, you know what? We have a term for that. It's called the House of Highlights. You know, Echo are used to doing so many highlights of their own. We saw so many from a single team fight. Like, yes, Blacklist finds a kill, but 4 heroes looks for highlights of their own.
Exactly, and again, the systematic playstyle that Blacklist International are trying to utilize here isn't working. They need to, in my opinion, again, stay creative, utilize what made them so great to get into the upper bracket finals, to get into the grand finals, and it is with Edward playing the winning matchup. Get Edward a winning matchup and play for Edward. He will be able to create the space for the team to inevitably make the plays to end the game.
Yep, if Blacklist International wants to come back from the score of Echo, they have to mount a 4-0 version of their own, and they have to break the chaos that Echo is bringing forward to the table here in this grand finals. We will find out if Echo is able to take it all away from Blacklist, but before that, let's talk to Mara Aquino first for some few icebreakers here.
Hindi lang sa loob ng lineup doon nagkakatunanan ng ating mga manlalaro, pati na rin ang ating mga manonood dito sa SMX Convention Center. We have Atomax, Coach Bakbet, Hito, Rivo, and Chaknu. Chaknu, huwag ka magtago. Dito ka. Si Chaknu laging Chaknu, okay, ito. Gusto namin malaman kung anong koponan ba ang pambato mo.
Ano ba tayo? Echo.
So, Echo.
Ano ba tayo?
Malilito ka ata eh. Okay, Hito, ikaw.
Ako, before mag-start yung Grand Finals, Blacklist ako eh. Pero ngayon nag-3-0 na, Echo ako, Echo. Echo proud! Echo birds! Yan, Echo.
Rivo, kanino ka?
Siyempre, Echo, nandiyan si The Goat Carl.
Syempre. San ka? Eto, Max.
Blacklist, syempre, sila yung tumalo sa amin. Gusto namin sila yung mag-champion.
Gusto mo yung tumalo mag-champion. Coach Bakbet.
Ako, Blacklist din kasi, fan ako ng reverse sweep eh.
Fan ng reverse sweep, okay. How about this? Ipagmayabang nyo yung pambato nyo. Dahil mas marami kayo muna magsimula.
Sinabi mo, Bakbet reverse sweep eh. Hindi nga kayo maka-reverse sweep sa Blacklist.
Oy! Coach, what do you have to say to that?
Okay lang, na lang, babawi na lang next season.
Tapos, ipagmayabang mo yung pambato mo.
Feeling ko kaya pa naman ng Blacklist. Kailangan lang nila ng bagong timpla kasi 3-0 na yung game, tsaka kailangan nila ng mag-adjust. Sobrang ganda ng ginagawa ng Echo, kailangan nilang mas pag-aralan pa.
Sabi niya, gawin mo daw flip-top. Sige nga, ito Max. Ikaw yung mag-flip-top dyan.
Okay lang. Kahit ano, down sila ng 0-3. 6 out of 7 finals appearance naman yung BYs.
6 out of 7 grand finals ang BYs. What you got?
Naalala nyo guys yung season 7, Execration versus Blacklist. Sila yung ni-reverse sweep ng Blacklist. Paano naman kasi game 7, pinikan ng high-low si Chaknu, naka-revitalize. Ayun, bagsak.
Ipagmayabang mo naman ang Echo. Chaknu, sige nga, pagmayabang mo yung Echo. Pambato mo, Echo, di ba?
Yan, guys.
Ribo, anong masasabi mo?
Wala, champion na to, Echo.
It's that simple daw para sa kanya.
Kaya pa yan, maraming reverse sweep na nangyayari. Tsaka, kaya pa ng ano yan, Blacklist.
Tinalo kami ng Blacklist, kailangan nila mag-champion dito.
Okay. So we're trying to settle that here. We're gonna settle that in the land of Dawn. Pero ito, Coach, gaano ba kahirap pag 3-0 ka na ma-reverse? How hard is that mentally? What do you think is happening right now?
Actually, yung mga ganyang down ka ng 0-3, tapos last win na lang yung kalaban, sobrang hirap niyan kasi ang dami mong parang titignan factors eh. Siyempre yung mental ng mga players. Also, yung mga strat na saan kayo nagkulang. So, may mga babaguhin sila dyan na halimbawa sa mga bans nila, pwedeng may mga i-open na sila na heroes. Sobrang hirap talaga. Pero pagka na-come up nila to, yung nasolusyonan nilang itong game 4, possible magtuloy-tuloy na yan. Kasi ibig sabihin na hanap na nila yung tamang solusyon.
Now we're gonna see if we need just one more game or is this gonna be a reverse sweep? Chaknu, dito ka. Babalik na tayo sa ating casters. So ibato mo sa kanila the way you do it, okay? Go ahead.
Casters, pasok.
That's another dream come true. Earlier thrown over by Kyrie, now by the Mamba?
We're blessed.
So blessed. I'm not sure if it's raining outside, but it's raining blessings in here.
I love it, but speaking of rain, man, the agents are in for quite a ride. I don't think they expected this. None of us expected this.
Yeah.
And Coach Etomax actually put it best. When you're down 0-3, it's extremely difficult. He knows exactly what he's talking about, both as a coach and as a former player.
Yeah, you got to think about the mental of the players, how big of an impact. Because, again, this isn't like, honestly, it wasn't a 3-0 where every game was neck and neck. We're talking about dominant games from Echo. The Echo Express just taking Blacklist International for a ride. So it's like, what do we do? There's so many boxes that need to be looked at, that need to be checked here for Blacklist International.
And I believe that's a question that just keeps rolling over and over again in the heads of Blacklist. What do we do? What do we draft? What do we ban? In the potential last ban of our series, it's Blacklist on the blue side, again deciding to take away the Franco and Kaja, going back to a familiar pattern of drafting.
Okay, I'm happy. Again, just putting myself in the shoes of Blacklist International and their fans, because this is where they kind of got a little too experimental from Game 3. They tried to pull off the Grok and Kaja gambit. Now they're playing close to the chest, and they take out Sanford's favorite, the Lapu Lapu. While Echo play about the same way, and they open up a winning lane for Agent Zero. Does Echo oblige with a Faramis?
If I'm Echo here, yes. But then their gold laner and or jungler needs to be dealing magic damage. Faramis couldn't be the only source of magic damage, but no. Okay, there's still room for a Faramis here, but the even Lancelot together, great pickups. Now, the fact that it's a Lapu band potentially might mean it's a Yuzhong for Sanford, depending on the picks here of Blacklist. And there it is, right away. Of course they pick it up. Faramis Valentina by Black.
They deny it.
They deny it. I love this, too, because in a way, even though the Lapu Lapu was banned, another standout hero for Sanford was this Yu Zhang pick. So now he has it. And again, this is the Lancelot, the Eve here. Solid choices already for Echo. Is this enough, though, for Blacklist International for the first phase? Because even, we heard from Midnight and Mirko, and they're like, hey, let Edward play. Let him get that winning lane if he can. well, does this already, how does this match up against the Yuzhong here?
Well, Blacklist will need to help the Yuzhong if they want to activate it more. At the end of the day, it might just end up becoming a dead lane between these two. But I see the double XP start happening again here for Blacklist, just to delay Sanford a little bit. We saw earlier Sanford have a monster performance, an MVP one against RSG Slate Philippines. Blacklist will try to do everything they can to make sure that doesn't happen again.
Blacklist can do one thing here. They get to ban out the Cho.
Yeah.
Very important thing to do. Again, very few commandments in MLBB that you have to follow. Clear your waves, check your maps, and ban Yaoi's Cho.
Well, they don't. They decide to ban the Beatrix here. So we'll see. Again, if that is the option, if that's locked in, it's not out of the realm of possibility that Benicuti just decides to go with something non-traditional. The 1-1, the Claude, the Beatrix are all taken out. We haven't seen him this series yet play the Brody. That's still available.
Yeah, Brody. But I'm feeling spicy here for Echo. Hearth or Lunox? Up against the Glue.
Mm-hmm.
The Order of Brilliance. Gonna be up against, and it's Darren.
There it is.
All right, not too far off.
Not too far off.
It's a gold lane mage, but it's one that's worked all throughout today in the hands of Benedict Gonzalez, Benicuti. He picks up the Harith, and now Blacklist closing up their draft, putting the Fredrin in the hands of Wise, and of course, Owl's signature. If there's a clutch gene in the rookie gold laner of Blacklist International, it has to be activated right now.
Part of me thinks this might actually be more of another roamer. Oh, it's a Valier. What a pick. Now, this, it's a 100% win rate with 2 picks this season.
Was that in the hands of Yaoi?
One of them was in the hands of Yaoi. I'm not entirely sure if it was both, but I wouldn't be surprised if it is.
Isn't Yaoi the one that brought it out in Season 10 playoffs?
Yes, exactly in this situation as well. In a series against Blacklist International, of the 2 that they won, one, he was playing a Valier roam.
This is a lineup that Echo drafted to end quick. The Valier roam, though, Yaoi needs to be careful, because if not, it puts more pressure onto Sanford, and specifically Carl TZ, to be the pseudo-roamer frontliners for Echo. But if they pull this off, it will be an utterly devastating loss for Blacklist and a quick one for Echo.
Already, I'm going to help Blacklist troubleshoot. I suggest invest in your tough boots. Invest in, this is, if you're going to buy an early rated armor, this might be that game.
I was going to say, there's literally 3 sources of magic damage, I believe, here. So, you're going to be able to want to rush those items to kind of survive that onslaught of magic damage.
Yeah, the pairing for Valier is usually this. Back in Season 10, it was the Lilia in the Grand Finals, and Echo won that game with that. Earlier in the season, they went Valier and Eve. A lot of slows, a lot of pokes that the roaming mid-3 of Blacklist needs to watch out for here.
Here we see the double XP lane rotation, the trademark for Blacklist in the playoffs, while Echo maintains their tempo. So far, nothing out of the ordinary, a minute in.
Oh, they knew Yaoi was going to be extended a little bit there. He had to flick around. First blood going to be drawn by Edward. Already off to a good start here. They get the flicker out from Yue, but look at Carl TZ forcing out that as well.
This is what I'm talking about when it comes to the risk of the Valier pickup. If you get caught, you will get punished. Up against a Faramis, an Eve, and Edward, who got out of lane quickly. Yaoi needs to watch out for that. He can't overextend and be forced to use his flicker in those scenarios so early.
About 30 seconds before the first hurdle of the game. SMX is shaking. Agents all over the world are trembling. They are sending out their energy to the Season 10 champions. This shouldn't end in a sweep, they say, as we have about a quarter of a minute before the first hurdle. Look at how deep Wise is. This is a newfound confidence in Blacklist throughout the series.
Yeah, and even with your backs against the wall, you gotta be like this. You can't hesitate to try and get vision. See what you can do to disrupt. See there the disruptive nature of the Eve and Valier combo together. Oh my Venus will struggle a bit in the laning phase. First hurdle up, Edward's alone.
All right, Sanford already going to go into the dragon form. Going to force Edward back a little bit here. Looks like Blacklist just going to give up that first hurdle. Really don't want to get further behind. They're holding on to a very small lead. And Echo will secure that first objective of the game.
Yeah, but I got eyes on the one true king. Look at King Wise. I wonder if Carl knows. I wonder if the rest of Echo knows what he's up to.
Yeah, he's about to check it. Oh, he won't be able to steal it in time.
Oh, they do have an idea. Now Wise going to be in a bad position here. 3 versus 1. Here comes Oh My Venus trying to help out. Yawi will get punished. But Wise falls as well on top of it. The 1-for-1 trade.
Just a moment too late with the cult altar by the queen. Couldn't save her king.
Wait, he committed Grand Theft Orange. Our buff, says Wise.
Yeah, he was able to steal it away from Carl Teasy. Carl Teasy will get pulled.
Okay, he's going to execution out of there. Still, this is exactly what Wise has to do. Like you mentioned, you know, he's got to have kind of that swag to him, not only because he's playing the Fredrin here, but also given the situation, right? Carl Teasy, for the most part of this series, has been all over the place, especially in the jungle of Blacklist International.
And you mentioned this, Renmar. Prior to loading into the game, he has to act as that pseudo-roamer. Get a little hyperactive because, again, Yawi can only really commit his skills. But when he does, it hurts.
Yeah. Right now, though, in the XP lane, and the question of Glue versus Yuzhong, we feel Edward more in the map, but the pressure that Sanford is applying into the lane means Edward's always forced to go back and rotate just to clear the minion waves. Sanford not going to be roaming to mid here. Thought he would. Try to find a pick, but the minion waves don't have that in favor for him. Both teams tried to go for a topside sequence, but thanks to vision, both teams back off. It's going to be back to the mid and the jungle again. That's been the hot spot for this game so far.
And here we go. Now focus on the top side. Owl in trouble.
Oh,
2
no.
versus 1. Has to flicker out. A little bit of burn there. No follow-up with the kill just yet. And the rest of the members, Blacklist International, able to help him out. Meanwhile, Turtle being worked on. Looks like multiple members of Echo should be able to secure this one. Second one for them of the game. But Wise goes in with the Brazzer's Wrath. Yawi going to be in trouble. One hit away. Wise couldn't get the kill.
Oh, wow. But in this sequence, check out Wise. He stole Carl Teasy's orange as the rest of Blacklist pressure the gold lane.
Yeah, while Echo were getting the turtle, Wise decides to invade again.
Oh, he's going to cut them off.
Carl.
Here comes Carl. Do they have the follow-up they're going to be looking for? No, they don't, so they back off.
Okay, Sanford has the Hunter Strike. The combos will be deadly coming in from the Yuzhong now. Now Echo still a very close game. Despite everything, Blacklist are handling this game so far beautifully. Little wins. The reason why it's only a small lead for Echo is that Blacklist, they're invading the jungle, but this is going to be a big change of our scenario as the top lane will get pressured. Owl loses his turret, and that's going to be Benny Cutie out of lane first.
This tier 1 push up top is going to make this turtle coming up in about a minute all the more easy for Blacklist to just let go. Because given this small lead by Echo, yeah, Blacklist looking much better now. It's still a turtle that they can't really contest.
Echo, let's see if they can find a pick before this. That will be the goal. Find a pick. Force out an ultimate, a key ability before this turtle starts. 35 seconds though, Sanji pressing the issue. Yue has the ultimate. Wise going in.
Okay, Wise going to go in. He's going to find Yawi here. He will fall. Sanford already using the dragon form. Going to find 2 members. Gets the petrify off. 2-2 fall for Blacklist. Still going to be looking for the fight. Yue trying to help the team here. Benny Cutie with the Zaman Force. They're going to be focusing down Wise. He's a couple hits away. Will fall. So it's a trade here. Echo coming out on top.
Eventually, a messy engage. Echo comes out with more than what they paid with.
Yeah, Echo, late entry. Seems like Blacklist again just completely forgot about the Yuzhong. They committed a lot to get Yawi correctly, yes, but they committed so many abilities that once the Black Dragon flew in, it all took one combo to take down 2.
Oh, Owl going to be in trouble again. Oh My Venus has to use the flicker and the cult altar, but Sanji dropping down the real world manipulation. The queen will fall, plus the turret.
Again, this is just Echo pushing the tempo. Yeah, for the first 5 minutes, they had to play footsies. They had to temper their expectations and say, okay, looks like Blacklist came to play. But now, we're back in about the same situation. Echo are in the driver's seat.
Sanford and his late entry in that last sequence meant that minion waits. Oh wait, no, here comes Echo again.
He's going to come through again. Wise fighting for that purple buff. The rest of the Echo squad here now. Edward we're going to come in with the glue. Split activated.
Ooh.
Quite a few stuns coming out. Prazer's Wrath going to be burned as Cutie comes through with his Zaman Force, finding Wise. And Wise falls again in the jungle here.
Next up on the docket, going to be this mid lane, tier 1.
Oh my Venus, going to be in trouble. Carl Teasy looking for the kill here. Sanji drops down the RWM, and another objective turret will fall in the mid lane.
Owl left a fat wave down bottom. I wonder if it's actually going to cave.
Yeah. Pretty sure that turret's gonna go down there. And at that point, it's just Blacklist saying, we gotta try to pull something here. Try to get a little bit more farm for a gold laner. And yes, it was a loss in the mid, but at this point, that's what they can get. That's all what they have to do. 1,400 and counting. It's a gold difference between Cutie and Owl, with Cutie in the lead.
Fellas, spot the double Radiance armors coming in from Edward and Oh my Venus. I expect more to come up. It looks like Wise is on the way to his.
Good itemization there by Blacklist. I think that's what Echo will be watching out for and considering. But considering the spike that Echo has hit, Cutie already has the Holy Crystal. As long as Echo don't lose a massive, doesn't suffer a massive loss, they can continue this. But Blacklist are in close enough gold territory to actually turn this around.
Yeah, they actually want to go ahead and contest this one. Lord was started up. Carl T's going to
so far. A win here could be massive for Blacklist. But ultimates are up across the board. Called all. That's what we're waiting for here. But is it going to be a full commit? Look at where Owl is. He's up top. Echo, do they sense it? What happens now?
Sanford going to use the Dragon Form, pushing Blacklist International back here. Lord's going to go ahead and reset a little bit. Owl, like you said, in the top side, not here for this fight. Wise still showing face. Zaman Force and the RWM going to come out. Edward trying to buy a little bit of time here. Owl making his way to the fight. Appraiser's Wrath comes down. Sanford quite low. Trying to escape the fight. Edward takes down Cutie. Now Yowie's in trouble. Owl gets a kill here. And it's Echo with a blunder. And now Blacklist International looking to punish. Sanford trying to get back to base. Carl Teasy nowhere to go. Even with the help of Sanji, and they turn it around. Blacklist now has a go at the Lord.
The defending champions are feeling it. SMX is feeling it. They have shrank that 2K gold lead now to about 300 as they make a beeline for the Lord. They take it.
Blacklist International, a weight off of their shoulders. A massive win. We said it was turn around the ball, and they found the turnaround. The late entry by Owl, though they were split, Blacklist held on, and Echo will now try to defend against the Code Breakers, against the defending champs.
It seemed like it was a engagement or scenario in the making the first time it happened, because again, it was the same split by Echo. They won that first time around, but Blacklist, they figured it out, they understood. And this time around, when it actually mattered, when it led into this first Lord, Blacklist got it right.
Their individual decision-making in that team fight to hold on for as long as they could, avoiding the key abilities, watching out for Echo, What a response by the defending champions.
Here's the response from Echo. They're going to force it down. Dragon Form going to come out looking for UA here. He's in trouble. Colt Alter goes through, but it's not going to be enough. Foul trying to hold on. Carl Teasy on the hunt. Zaman forced to follow. Echo still has to split. Wise waiting patiently there. Echo just getting some information. Again, it's still a minute till that next Lord comes up here as both teams look for establishing presence.
This is the strongest Blacklist has looked. This is the closest this series has looked. One mistake, one error, one right call might be the difference between game number 5 or a championship now in a sweep for Echo. The tension in the air is high here. You have to watch out for the entries, the timing of Oh My Venus' Colt Alter, who Edward grabs onto. If Owl can keep himself alive, if Benny Cutie can keep that purify for the best possible moment.
Lord here in about 10 seconds, putting theory into practice. Edward is going to be one key way for Blacklist to cut straight into Echo's formation, because again, in that first Lord take, it was Edward, Agent Zero, who was actually threatening a grab into whoever's soft enough. And to be fair, amongst Echo, they're all pretty soft.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to be making a play here, trying to cut off Echo. But it's going to get spotted out as both teams going to clash in, sandwich each other. Owl caught off from the team. He's in trouble. Benny Cutie will get the kill. Colt Alter already used. And just like that, Echo knows they have the numbers advantage and go for the Lord.
They can't take any fights without Owl.
The carry falls, and that might be the error and the catch that we were talking about. This Lord will be uncontested. Can Echo, what can Echo make out of this? This is still a close game.
All right. Looking back at the history of this series, in the past 3 games that we played, Echo have made devastating developments with their Luminous Lords. So I'm thinking, where else? How deep can Blacklist dig? Because they still have their inhibitors. There's still a couple of tier 2 standing. So I'm guessing this will be a very defendable Lord.
Yeah. Defendable. Is it? Echo, is this it? Let's watch out.
We're going to find out here. Mid lane. Lord making its way. Sanford using the Dragon Form. Already going to force back UA and the rest of the team. Colt Alter comes out too. Looking to end the game possibly here. They know the Colt Alter's down. Wise will fall. Echo still healthy. Happy to deal with it. Lord will go down. Do they focus on the next inhibitor turret? Waves pushing in. Wise is not here. Echo now gets rid of the bottom lane inhibitor turret. Still possibly holding on. I set on the next turret.
Minions are huge.
Minions coming through. They get the flicker out. Benny Cutie with his Almond Force pushing them back. Blacklist International's in trouble. Immortality gonna come through. There's Sanji once again. UA has to get out. Sanji gets the kill, and now Blacklist is falling apart. Carl Teasy, and it looks like they're gonna do it. It's deja vu. They sweep Blacklist.
are still in the age of the Orca. Your MPL Philippines Season 11 champions are Echo.
Knocked down to the lower bracket, brought to their limit, the reigning world champions found the heart, will, and skill to taste the sweet kiss of destiny yet again. The age of Orca stands undisputed. Champions of the world, champions of the Philippines!
And with this victory, and with this repeat of what went down in Tennis Indoor Senayan in Jakarta, Indonesia,